Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics scored the first 10 points of their game against Utah last night, but never led by more than 12. Fell behind in the second half and ultimately lost to a bad Jazz team, 105-103 at TD Garden. Yusuf Nurkic's putback with 0.6 of a second left won it for the visitors, who were playing in the second night of a back-to-back. They also out-rebounded the Celtics 55-36. Jaylen Brown scored 36 points in a loss.
We just got to play basketball. I thought we got a lot of good looks. We just shot the ball poorly tonight. I think we were like 8 for 45. Shot a lot of threes, but I feel like a lot of them were good looks. A lot of the threes I shot, I feel like I was wide open on a lot of the shots. They just didn't go in tonight for whatever reason.
Celtics host the Washington Wizards tomorrow night. The Bruins had last night off. They visit the Islanders tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Elias Lindholm has now been listed as week to week. Patriots players have today off. They'll practice tomorrow and visit Tampa Bay on Sunday. The NFL's trade deadline arrives at 4 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon. Both Alex Bregman and Lucas Giolito opted out of their contracts with the Red Sox yesterday. That makes them free agents this coming weekend. Also, Garrett Crochet is a finalist for the American League Cy Young Award, and Roman Anthony a finalist for the AL Rookie of the Year. And Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are among 8 candidates for election into the Baseball Hall of Fame from the ERA Committee. The results of the voting will be announced on December 7th. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
And Hardy.
Who's Taylor the originator?
On 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How are we doing?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Mondays.
Well, I tell her the truth, I miss booty.
That problem is too large for the starch.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
And I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back
25 glasses of soda.
Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
You got to be kidding me.
Oh, who cares?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Artie, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube. We're on there all day. They repeat the show. It's on live, and then it repeats over and over and over ad nauseum. So you can see it whenever you want. If you're listening to us on podcast, you would like to watch it, that's available to you. I pulled in a little after 5:30 this morning, and I was in the parking garage, and I stopped to admire the sunrise as I faced east. Now, that's west. The other way, the sun was coming up. There was Hardy's investigating to see if I'm telling tales.
It looks very dark outside.
Well,
which
no,
is why.
now he can see light because I can see it in the corner over there.
Okay.
John was on your side. He was very skeptical of what I was saying.
Well, he was chirping when I first got in, so
Yeah.
he must have known that sunrise was imminent.
Because you can see it. I can see it from like that little space. Is that there is light? Look, it's not sunny out, but the sun is coming up, and that's good because if you were coming down from another planet, and people would say like the people need sunlight to live. It affects them mentally. It affects them physically. They need the vitamin D. It helps people work. Farmers and things of that nature, people who work outside, it's very helpful. And then they said, well, let's have a program where the sun comes up when no one's awake and then goes down when everyone's awake.
Yeah.
It's every year it gets more preposterous. And it's just more, I'm not angry about it at all. I'm just more confused. I don't know why this became a thing. In every call we've ever gotten in defense of it has been idiotic. Like, it's dark when my kids go to the bus stop. Well, in Michigan, it's dark when you go to the bus stop, regardless of what time the sun goes up or down. Like, regardless of the time change. And that was fine. And I have 2 children, and when they were little, I could have cared less if it was dark when they went to the bus stop. It's 7:30 in the morning. What do you think's going to happen? It's not 4 o'clock in the morning. It's 7:30 in the morning. Not 2 o'clock in the morning and outside a club downtown on a Saturday night. You're at a bus stop. There's traffic and people and things. Like, why does it have to be light out? What, are you afraid they're going to get kidnapped? That's an issue. You're raising very frightened children at that point. So, because at this point in the year, it didn't get to me this much last year, but it did get to me this year. And it's more just, when did people decide to do that? It's no one alive's fault. Just when did that decision, when was that made? It's, we need when people are sleeping, the sun needs to be up.
So, I don't know, and I've read like different things on this. Like, it was first proposed by like Benjamin Franklin, and someone said it had something to do with farmers. But then there was the energy crisis in the 70s, and it's supposed to like help you save energy. And then I read something the other day about how it has a very small effect on the number of traffic accidents in the morning, when people tend to be more tired when they're driving in, and if it's dark, you compound that. But I'm with you. Just keep it on the daylight saving time schedule for the entire year.
Well, I can assure you that if there is indeed a correlation between accidents and the time change, that was not factored in at all if Benjamin Franklin was involved.
Yeah,
just seems to be like a side little thing that they've come to find.
For Benjamin Franklin, I think it was more for like farmers and stuff who could get out like earlier and before the day got too hot.
So we're talking about this here in the control room,
hot.
and there's a little bit
Too hot, Fred. In the summer, it gets hot.
There's a little bit of myth around the farmer thing.
But wouldn't that, it's hotter in the summer, so you would fall back. Wouldn't you want it to be hotter later in the day?
No, you want it light earlier so you can get up and get out in your fields. Or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well, why would it matter if it's an hour earlier and you still can stay in the fields an hour later?
Especially for stupid farmers in the late 1700s. Get out there when you got to get out there.
Yeah, I'm reading something that says...
Whoa. Everyone, stop for one moment.
Okay, go ahead.
Why would you do it in November then, fall back, when it's cooler? And then as soon as it gets warm again, you spring forward. Wouldn't that be the opposite if it was about heat?
I got to think about it.
I'm finding holes in all these arguments, and they're not hard to come by.
John, what do you have? I have
It
stuff.
said he proposed, Benjamin Franklin proposed it in a satirical essay in 1784, suggesting that waking up earlier in the summer could reduce the need for candle usage in the evening. I have no idea.
So the Standard Time Act was signed into law in March of 1918, and that allowed for additional daylight hours to be added into the day to help save energy costs during World War I. So the whole farming thing is a bit of a myth. I mean, farmers did benefit from that, but that's kind of the reason that people give for daylight savings, and it's not. It was more of a war effort in World War I.
So
and it lapsed,
time was
and it came
always
back again in World War II.
Okay, so time was always like now. And then they made something in the summer to spring forward.
Correct, March 19th, 1918.
But that was to spring forward.
Yes.
So this was always how we kept time.
Yeah, this is standard time. This is how it always was.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And then so they said they made the decision that in the summer to make it an hour later. And why the decision to take it back to standard time?
Apparently, it stayed we're
You're
calling
not getting
daylight
this
savings time
information out
for a year and a half.
It was repealed after World War I, and during World War II, it was reinstated under President Roosevelt and remained in effect year-round during World War II, 42 to 45.
So it would have been like it was before we fell back during World War II.
Yes. Yes.
Are you guys confident about this?
Daylight savings time was reinstated under President Roosevelt and remained in effect year-round as wartime from 42 to 45.
So before 1918, it was always like this, like it is today. The sun was coming up at 5:30, and then they kept it like this year round. So everyone in existence in this country, in Boston, Massachusetts, for all of time until 1918, this was how time was year round.
Yes, and from 45, end of World War II, to the mid-60s, it says here, daylight savings time became a patchwork system, different states observing different things, and that led to confusion. So to address the inconsistency, Congress passed the Uniform Time Act of 1966, standardizing all of this.
Which did not go into effect in Arizona or Indiana.
Right.
Okay.
I'm trying to, I haven't gotten to the part why those two states are different, but this is the genesis of all of this.
Oh, and this was before Phil Collins was the singer. This is way back when Peter Gabriel was the guy, and it was just weird.
The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
That band was a hit band with Peter Gabriel, and I dare you to go look at a YouTube video of them.
Sometimes he dress up like a tree.
Yeah.
And prance around on stage.
It's like
the impish puck.
grade school play.
I just picture Genesis playing like in East St. Louis in 1962. I'm a tree. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Berry. And then he comes off stage. Now it's Genesis.
Time for my breakfast.
Time for my breakfast. While he's backstage getting breakfast, there's a tree. I'm a tree. Audience, look, it's creepy.
Do you want to know the real problem?
Yeah.
Boston is in the wrong time zone.
Thank you. I've been saying this for years. We
They
should
should
be in the
be
Atlantic
an
time
hour
zone.
earlier.
Atlantic
Yes.
time zone.
Yeah.
Well, then New York would have to follow suit
Not why.
because of the stock market and because of finance. You need, if
Well, how does Chicago manage it?
they have their own market, as a matter of fact.
How about L.A.?
That's too much of a they
They're
have
they're not invested.
No, but I know guys that worked in finance and they had to get up 3 hours earlier.
Okay.
That were out in L.A. because I don't think there's the financial businesses are as big in L.A. as they are obviously in New York or Boston. I think that if you're off time this close, if you're 200 miles from someplace and the time is different, I think it would affect industry. I think it would affect business. Like, I just think that would be too confusing. Like, like the Atlantic states, the northeastern states would all have to stay on the same time zone because there's a lot of finance up here. A lot. I would say more than LA, certainly. LA's industries seem to be different than that.
It doesn't matter. They would figure it out. If you want sunsets to take place after 5 p.m. all year long,
Why couldn't New York do it too?
move to the Atlantic time zone, and you don't have to deal with the daylight saving anymore.
But why would you not want New York to do it?
They can do whatever they want.
Well, no. They got that socialist coming in. If they can do whatever they want,
is he gonna win?
Go penniless. Is he going to win, John? It's already won. I'm sure if you counted the votes, early votes, he statistically already won. It's like a 25-point lead in the polls. Yes, he's winning. It's kind of funny because it's going to piss everyone off so much that I enjoy that, and it affects me none. Mm-hmm. So I enjoy it. It's a little bit of a – you had Trump, and it pissed everyone off, and now you got this guy who's going to piss everyone off the other way. So you got a real S show going on in the world, in the country. You got New York City leaning very heavily one way. Mm-hmm. You have the federal government leaning very heavily the other way. It's a real mishmash. It's going to get a lot of people all riled up. Continue everyone being very angry at each other. Just the way it should be.
Perfect.
Just the way it should be. But I would say this. If you make a video, an AI video of yourself in a fighter jet like Trump did, dumping poo all over the city of New York, I don't think your endorsement of Cuomo is really going to move the needle. I did think that was funny. And this is all fact. And I mean, you would have to admit this is funny. Everyone, or at least interesting. is that like a month after you made a video of when were those No Kings marches? Not even a month ago, right?
No, it was a couple
No, it was the
weekends
weekend
ago.
of the 18th.
Yeah.
Adam knows. He was there. And so he made a video. I'm not making this up on the True Social account. He didn't make the video, but he retweeted it or whatever. And it's an AI video. It's playing the Top Gun theme. I suppose some people haven't seen this. I'm not making any of this up. It's not fake news. This is all absolutely real. It seems like a movie, but it's not. It's an AI video, and he has a crown on, and he gets into a fighter jet. And then you're like, okay, whatever. And then he dumps poo. It's not poo, Fred. It's poo. He dumps poo all over the protesters in New York City. And I just think it's interesting that you make that video and then 2 weeks later you turn around and you're like, hey, vote for Cuomo. And like the town's going to go, oh, like, okay, you said so I'll do it. We're the people you dumped crap on in the video. But your word is gold with us.
Right.
And
we know that you have our best interest at heart.
And I know the New York Times did this on purpose. I know they did it on purpose. And I see through it, and I realize what they did. But they said, like, celebrities endorsing the candidates. And the Guardian Angels guy had Giuliani. This, whatever his name is, the guy who's going to win, had whatever celebrities. And then Cuomo had Woody Allen.
Oh, there you go.
And I know they did that on purpose. And I'm a big Woody Allen fan, but they not so much his stand-up, but the some of his movies. But I know they did that on purpose. Like, they wrote that article just so they could say Woody Allen endorsed Cuomo. But I don't know very much about what's going on over there, except for anything involving dumping poo on people, I'm very, very in tune with. I get a Google alert anytime there's a feces in something.
And you're
It's from the old show.
decidedly on the pro side of that.
Well, certain facets of my when I switch personalities, certain switching of personalities is when I become who I am not. Yeah. Mr. Trump, you've got my vote. Yeah. The fellow in the green sweater really looked like he didn't like it.
So you were enamored with the sunrise this morning. John, I don't know if you saw this because of the way you travel. I bet Beaton saw a little bit of this. There was a beautiful moonrise or
did see it.
moonset. I'm not sure. It's probably a moonset that was
Yes.
going on today.
I did see it.
Huge full moon.
Super moon.
Just above the horizon. And it was striking, Fred, is what it was.
You see it again when it rises tonight as well. It's nice.
You know how Adam knows. Don't cost a thing.
That's right. Free entertainment every night.
He gets the kids out in lawn chairs and they just look at the sky.
Jay's line.
Right after they come in for picking up cash.
Dad, why does none of the TVs work?
Just watch the moon.
The real TV show's outside.
He's got his moon phase calendar and his tide chart front and center in that fridge, just so he can. Well, when's the show today?
And that's what the refrigerator has become, is just a
Bulletin
place
board.
to hang things because nothing is inside. I mean, Snap benefits are gone.
gonna say-
That's right.
Packets,
Day 4.
packets of things, ketchup packets,
Soy sauce.
sweet and sour packets.
Well, when you dumpster dive, I mean, you're going to pick up packets
Well,
that get thrown away.
they get thrown in the bag. And,
Yeah, and that's all good eats.
Jack Brat.
All right. Very good. What an exciting time to be alive with moon rising and everything else.
We got a lot of it. We got a lot covered already. We could probably just take a blow for the rest of the day.
But I would assume it bothers everyone. It can't make you. I picked my daughter up at school. She got out of there like 3:50, got in the car, and the sun was quite a bit down.
Yeah.
I mean, that does, unless you're way stronger than me mentally, which is no mean feat. I mean, it's pretty easy. But I would assume that it bothers, it doesn't make anyone feel good. That I'm pretty confident about, is that it would not make you feel good. You're not like, hooray, this is happening.
No one's out there saying, thanks, that made me feel real good.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
People sometimes come up to me and they say, Adolfo, the sun goes down really early in December. I say, thanks, that makes me feel real good.
How was the last time we got a good cackle out of you?
I don't know. I laughed so much harder. I think I was trying way harder.
I know, but
just to have everything go right.
Oh,
I was because I was nervous the whole time. You know, I was trying to keep a job. Now we're pretty ingrained. It's not as much pressure to put things over. You know. So if you look like from the beginning of my time in radio till now, I think I don't feel the need to sell everything as much. So it's an evolution, my friend. That's why, because I wasn't cackling in real life all the time. It seems like I was trying to put a lot of stuff over for my own benefit. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yes. All right. We will be back in just a moment. Plus, that was fresh new Adolfo, where I didn't really know anything about him. And he was just constantly amazing me.
Excuse me?
Because it just kept getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And I loved him, but still do. But, I mean, he didn't know how to mail a letter. He didn't. I mean, there was so many things that he didn't know how to do. It was fascinating. You live your whole life, many lifetimes, and never meet anyone like Adolfo. Someone who was raised so poorly.
Guy who was on fire in his front
I don't got to
yard.
finish.
Guy,
Sorry.
A guy who was on fire in his front yard didn't say anything until 2 days later. One of the great
He said the
stories
power
ever.
went out. He said the power went out, but he didn't say he saw a guy die. He said the power was out at his house. And then 2 days later, he told us about how he saw the guy die. And then we looked in the paper and it was real. And so, like, even when Adolfo was here in the spring and he went out to my son's baseball game with me and, like, we were eating breakfast in Groton, I asked him a lot about, like, growing up because I am fascinated.
Yeah.
Because his parents didn't speak English. Okay, it's confusing, but follow me. His parents didn't speak English. They spoke Spanish. Adolfo didn't speak Spanish. He spoke English. And he was raised by them, born into that family.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't come over, like, when he was 5.
Slept in the same room for a while, if I remember right.
I mean, he came out of his mother, and then he was raised from that moment by two people that did not speak English. Like, they could speak English, but they didn't speak English in the house.
Mm-hmm.
It was only Spanish, and he doesn't speak really any Spanish. So, I mean, it's really interesting. And then when you figure, like, Rich and I kind of, like, taught him how to do everything, like, kind of like stuff that your kids know how to do.
Yeah.
So I always am very interested in his childhood in a non-judgmental way. I'm just legitimately interested in his childhood. It's fascinating.
But his
to me.
upbringing kind of manifested itself in weird ways, like you were just talking about the not talking about people on fire. Remember, he was renting an apartment and decided to save money. He would have the heat shut off during the winter, and all the pipes froze up. So when they turned them on during the spring,
that was Dan O'Brien's.
That was Dan O'Brien's buddy.
Was the landlord. Yeah. I don't know if he turned the heat off or what happened.
No, he and his roommates agreed to turn the heat off for 5 months to save money.
Okay,
not thinking about the consequences in the spring. And then Adolfo tried to move. So Hardy, when you move from one apartment to the other, what's the first thing you do? You get a van or a buddy with a pickup truck to move.
Yes.
Adolfo had one of those
I remember.
grocery
Grocery cart.
shopping carts,
Yeah.
push carts.
Yeah.
And the wheel broke immediately.
The wheel broke immediately. It took him 7 tries back and forth. And the new
Was he
apartment
going
was
across like the BU Bridge?
yes,
or something?
his new apartment was 7 miles from the old one. So he'd go 7 miles one way with the shopping cart, then 7 miles back, and then load up the shopping cart again.
Well, he had
So
the
if you have 2 roommates and your place is like 1,000 square feet, not even maybe, how much can that cost per person to heat during the winter per month? Like you're in a multi-unit building, so like you're not heating like an entire building. You're just heating that little space.
Yeah.
How much could that cost split 3 ways, 4 ways?
I don't know.
How much could that cost?
$40 each, maybe.
Yeah, so you're saving you're basically saving yourself like $300, maybe not even.
Right. But
Wow.
Adolfo,
I would take the heat, mate.
The best part about it was Adolfo.
I'd find a way to get the money.
He wasn't upset until he realized he couldn't play his PlayStation because it had frozen. Then he was like, "Oh, maybe this is a bad idea."
You remember a lot more about it than I do.
I mean, well, again,
I already had him.
You already had him before I got here.
Yeah.
So-
That was all new to you, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that was. By then I had known him a couple of years. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Everything that happened last night will be encapsulated.
That's crazy.
Stay
We are Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night's brought to you by Leonard Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, what's going down?
Celtics home last night to take on the Utah Jazz. And early on, the Celtics jumping out to a lead thanks to this guy.
Spins on George, gets into the dotted line. Now hands off instead to Pritchard. Steps back behind the line. His three is good. So, both Peyton Pritchard and Derek White have hit their first three tonight.
That's right. Peyton Pritchard with that three puts the Celtics up 10-0. That's the type of stuff that you don't glean from just watching the game.
I mean, yeah. And I mean, how often does that happen? Two players both make their first three of the night.
Well, when you look at the final 3-point numbers, you'll find it remarkable that both players hit their first three based on the number that they took and the number that they ended up making.
Well, Derek White has not shot the ball well this season.
All I'm saying is that, maybe he knew that was going to come into play.
Yeah.
He saw something in their form that said this can't last.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Grandy.
All right, Celtics would maintain that 10-point lead and take it into the locker room at halftime. Things started to go the other way, though, in the third.
Simon's right on his shoulder as Keontae George dribbles into the front court, flips into the corner for a three that is going to bounce in for Markkanen.
Yeah, they're lucky they're good, man.
Markkanen up to 16 points now, 35 in the quarter for Utah.
And 35 in the quarter at that point, 71-70 Utah after that. Celtics staying close. Jaylen Brown trying to give the Celtics the lead again late.
Right side, Jaylen Brown bumping with Keontae George. Dribbles around him, into the paint, elevates and hits the short jumper.
Got where he wanted to with that jump shot.
You want to see Jaylen Brown become a number one? You're seeing it right before our eyes. 36 tonight.
And it made it 101-99. However, when a Utah player fell in front of Jaylen Brown late on the second-to-last Celtics possession, Brown ends up tripping over that player. No call.
Keontae George fell down. Celtics with the ball up one, about 50 seconds to go, and Jaylen Brown's trying to drive the lane. Keontae George slipped and fell down in front of him. Wasn't intentional, but Jaylen Brown tripped over him, lost the ball, no call.
Okay, I agree. And the explanation the refs gave was wrong, that there was a wet spot and that Brown slipped in it too. But if Brown saw that he slipped and then ran at him, which is what happened, he wasn't charging the lane and then the guy slipped in front of him. He slipped and then Brown ran into him. Mm-hmm. Is that still a foul?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. That's a foul. They didn't call it. And bad things happened after that.
Indeed, as the Celtics would have a chance with 0.6 seconds left. John, what happened on that 0.6 second possession for the Celtics?
Oh, it was an offensive foul on Jaylen Brown, who had to be physically restrained from going after the refs based on the call they missed previously. Yeah.
I think he might get fined based on his post-game comments about the referee.
Oh, he's definitely going to get fined.
Yeah.
Man, don't give me fines. You can't have a mistake like that as an official at that point in the game. It's fourth quarter. It's a minute left in the game. And you the whole staff blows the f***ing call. Cost us a game. Like, unacceptable. You can make mistakes at any point of the game, but right there, that wasn't good. That's unacceptable. And then they telling me, we didn't see it. Like, how none of you see it? Like, you can't trip somebody in the fourth quarter and then just be a no call. It's some bullshit.
Well, he'll get fined, but the bottom line is the Celtics shot 11 of 51 from three and got destroyed rebounding the basketball. Utah, who is a very good rebounding team, had three guys out there, 6'11", 6'11", and 7'1" for long periods of time. Good for Will Hardy. He saw the Celtics are a very short team trying to get by on quickness and making threes, so he put a lot of big guys out there. And they got all the rebounds. You saw it with Houston, who we talked about before. They had the biggest starting lineup in NBA history. Houston destroyed them also and killed them on Saturday night. This is going to be a problem if the threes don't go in. And the threes didn't go in last night. They were historically bad from three last night. I think the stat I saw was they made the fewest amount of threes in NBA history for a team shooting over 50 of them in one game.
Yeah, 11 for 51.
So this is part of it. Neemias Queta was your only big guy, and he's the guy who got boxed out at the end for a putback by Yusuf Nurkic to win the game.
Yeah, but you can't stop
ugly
Yusuf.
basketball game, and someone's about to walk out of here a winner. Keontae George, the hero for Utah, out near half court. 7 seconds to go. George down the right side, Pritchard on his shoulder. George turns, fades, shot is no good. Offensive rebound, Nurkic, put back is good. With 0.6 of a second remaining, Utah breaks the tie.
Yeah, Queta is the only big guy you have had out there, and Nurkic, who is 7 feet tall, 290 pounds, gently pushed him under the basket. Got the rebound, laid it back in, and Utah, a bad team who got destroyed the night before, playing the second night of a back-to-back, came into your building and beat you. Not good. Not good. Celtics have a lot of work to do.
The Utah Jazz love foreign white guys. Big foreign white guys.
Yusuf Nurkic, Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, they have 3 in the starting lineup. And by the way, Kevin Love still plays basketball.
Yeah, I saw him go in last night. I went, wait a minute.
Yeah, so did I.
I saw him on the sideline. I'm like, is that freaking Kevin Love?
Okay, so when Kevin Love was a senior in high school, there was a documentary that Adam Yauch made about him. And Adam Yauch was still making music.
Oh man!
Like not only was still with us, but was still making music at the time. Like this was like ill communication era, I think, or at least to the 5 boroughs.
Love is 37.
And he's been playing in the NBA since he did 1 year at UCLA, so he's been playing for 18 years in the NBA.
Yes.
I mean, he's got gray hair, he's got everything. And it's not like LeBron who's like a big star, like Kevin Love. No. I really didn't know Kevin Love was still in the NBA. I mean, he's out in Utah.
Spent the last 2 or 3 years on the bench in Miami not playing. And finally Miami's like, all right, we already have a guy like that. Udonis Haslem. You have to go. And he went, and here he is, still playing at the age of 37. Making tens of millions of dollars. Good for him.
Yeah.
But still.
Well, yeah, and if you like basketball, I mean, you get paid a lot of money just to run around playing basketball. That's pretty nice. I mean, he's a bit of a silver fox now.
Mm-hmm.
He still has a color in his mustache, so you know he's not in his 40s. But his sides have gone very gray, where he keeps it short. So
Utah is starting guys like Svi Mikhailuk, who couldn't get off the bench for the Celtics 2 years ago. He was like the 10th or 11th guy.
Don't tell us what we already know about Svi.
And he's starting for this team, and they beat you.
Right. They're a big fan of consonants. Consonant after consonant after consonant. It's like my name in the real spelling. There's just consonants all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
TTCH. I mean, that's a lot of consonants in a row.
Yeah, they get rid of at least 2 of them.
Well, that's why I did. That's why the name, the way I spell it on the radio is all vowels, baby.
As far as Joe Mazzulla goes, he knows it wasn't about the call. It's the offense.
I definitely think they picked up their pace. I think we had some I thought our offense put pressure on our defense to where we just had too many empty possessions offensively, and they were able to score. And whether it was and ones or offensive rebounds or, a little bit of, like I said, some of our defensive miscues of corner threes. So I think just kind of, getting so many empty possessions offensively just put too much pressure on our D, and we didn't hold the fort down.
He was listening to Liz Fair's new record, Empty Possessions.
Is that really a Liz Fair album?
No.
Okay.
But it sounded like one.
It sounds a little more like Alanis. Or Sinead, I do not want what I haven't
Throw all
got.
those broads in a blender. I don't
Wow.
know. Hello. Good morning, everyone.
I guess someone won't be watching the Lilith Fair documentary.
I'm saving it.
Yeah.
So my daughter can watch. Look, what's possible for you, darling?
There's Meredith Brooks.
I don't even know who that is. Is that the I'm a bitch lady?
Oh, okay. All right.
That song was invented for sororities and for bachelorette parties. That is a song like I Will Survive that was made to annoy. Named to be sung at loud volumes by shrieking drunk chicks.
That was a bad time in alternative music. It had like nothing else coming down. Grunge was over. Like, what are we going to play? Well, we've got this Meredith Brooks song. We got Paula Cole. Where have all the Cowboys gone? She's alternative. Is she? We have to play this?
I was still in college when that was all going on, so I didn't know what was happening. So I missed that era of alternative radio. Because, like, right when I got in is when it started getting more male-dominated. But there was a time when 99X was very female-dominated. It's just funny that these guys all curated the same stuff. Like
female-dominated, fine, but it was just bad. And it wasn't rock and roll. It wasn't alternative or subversive in any way. It was just lame. And just a lot of lame music we had to play.
Well, when I think something becomes like dominated by a gender, like it's dominated by females, it's not like alternative music was playing like a hardcore female band into like a folk into a R&B. I mean, it's alternative music, so it's just playing one style of music. And if it's all females and it's all Lilith Fair stuff, I mean, the Lilith Fair is the Lilith Fair because they're all so similar. It wasn't because they were all dramatically different acts, right? Like Paula Cole and Liz Fair and all that. Like that was all kind of the same.
They didn't have Hole on Lilith Fair.
I'll tell you what. I like Hole more than Nirvana. Kaboom.
Whoa. Well, Live Through This, I think I like it so much because it sounds like a Kurt Cobain album. No one will ever convince me he didn't have a big hand in writing the songs on that album.
Okay, well, as someone who just listened to the Kim Gordon book, who produced Live Through This, she says it's all Billy Corgan, and that Billy Corgan they thought was corny, and they couldn't believe that she was working with him because of that he was so corny and took everything so seriously. And to that I said, you guys were fun in Sonic Youth? I don't like either of your bands. Billy Corgan's serious. What were you guys? What was supposed to be funny about what you were doing? You were very mean to Nardwuar. Well, I won't forget that.
Feedback's funny. Listen, we had some feedback.
Yeah, they're like, we're noise rock. And it's like, what? Go watch Bull in the Heather and tell me what the hell.
Bull in the Heather.
Yeah, like, okay. You're not smarter than me. Yeah, you're not smarter than me.
Sucks. Oh, does that band suck?
Yeah, Bull in the Heather. And it's when the, Ad Rock's wife, she's very cute in the video. She's like running around.
Kathleen Hanna,
yeah. Yeah. And so, like, you go, oh, this is a fun song. Like, and then it's just garbage. Like a Bull in the Heather. And you're like, yeah, okay. This pose is grown tiresome. All right, we will be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Utah Jazz beat the Celtics last night 105-103 at TD Garden. Yusuf Nurkic's putback with under a second to go gave the Jazz the win. Jaylen Brown 36 points for the Celtics. They play the Washington Wizards at TD Garden tomorrow night. Bruins visit the New York Islanders tonight. Bruins only 1-4 on the road this season. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Elias Lindholm not present at practice yesterday. He is listed as week to week. The NFL trade deadline arrives at 4 p.m. Eastern time. For now, the Patriots have been quiet. Alex Bregman and Lucas Giolito opted out of their Red Sox contracts yesterday. Garrett Crochet is a finalist for the American League Cy Young Award. Roman Anthony, a finalist for the American League Rookie of the Year Award. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by IBEW 103 and Nika Electrical Contractors. IBEW 103 celebrating 125 years of powering Greater Boston. To find a qualified contractor for your next electrical, telecom, or security project today, visit thepowerprofessionals.org. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
More.
Hey, we are show by name Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what else is going down?
Monday Night Football last night went down.
Yeah.
Arizona, Dallas, Jacoby Brissett, the Pied Piper.
Brissett takes the snap. Play fake, looks over the middle, throws wide open. Harrison caught for a touchdown. What a first half for Jacoby Brissett and Marvin Harrison Jr. They've made it look easy on that drive and on that touchdown pass. 9-0 Cardinals.
And all's good with Marvin Harrison there in Arizona. Nothing to see here. Don't you worry about it. How about Jacoby Brissett to Trey McBride?
Waiting for the shotgun snap on 1st and goal from the 11. Brissett has the ball. 3-step drop. Looks right, throws right in the end zone. Caught for a touchdown by Trey McBride. Jacoby Brissett again on time, on target, and the Cardinals extend their lead to 23-7.
They would make it 24-7. Last gas for Dallas, fourth quarter.
And now the Cowboys go quickly on 1st down. Fade, left side of the end zone. Flournoy got behind everybody. Touchdown, Cowboys. 10:51 to play. Don't go to sleep yet.
You could go to sleep. That ended up being your final.
Yeah.
27-17. It was all done. That's about all the offense they could muster there in the fourth quarter.
Jacoby Brissett has started 3 games for Arizona. That was his first win. But a completion rate of around 66%, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception.
He's real good.
He was good last night, man. Yeah, maybe it was the personnel around him last year. What do you think? Maybe that roster just wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking he's kind of enjoying life at the moment.
I don't think he's capable. You want to be okay. This is not me being cute, because enough
Impossible.
Enough of the
You're cute.
enough of the roster remains to where I say Jacoby Brissett is perfectly capable backup and sometimes starting quarterback. He's not going to elevate anyone's game. He's not going to make anyone better.
Okay, fair
Drake
enough.
May has the ability to make guys better.
I'm not making the comparison between the two of them. All I'm saying is he's far better than he showed last year while he was here, because the roster around him, I mean, he didn't have Marvin Harrison Jr. to throw the football to last year, or Trey McBride for that matter. So maybe the offensive line's a little bit better. Anything's better than Patriots' offensive line from last year.
Yeah.
And he had legit receivers now to throw the ball to. He is not a quarterback that you will say, okay, I want to go to the playoffs. Let's get that guy. I mean, Arizona's 3-5, but he's better than last year. That was my point.
Okay. And as far as things go in Dallas, they head into the bye week now, I believe. You would double check that.
Yeah, 3-5-1. Very nice. 3-5-1. And Jerry is doing his best to call attention to himself at all ways, shapes, or form. It's very.
We're gonna do a little deeper dive into Jerry Jones later, but go ahead.
No, this is specifically about the trade deadline, which is this afternoon. Jerry went all out and said, "Yeah, we got your trade. It's done. It's done. You know, we're all set." And then later in the evening, he's like, "Well, we think it's done. We're close. We're not, maybe not all the way there yet." So yeah, Jerry's doing his best. Stay in front of cameras.
All right. Well, yes, we will have a deeper dive into what Jerry Jones is all about. My patchwork fantasy team, not so fantastic.
You win, you lost. You lost.
I lost, but okay. I did better than you would think. But it was very patchwork. So it's just about dropping guys now. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Is today the day you're supposed to be doing stuff based on what Dave Richard posts online with his video today?
I think tomorrow. Or is it today?
Waivers is at midnight tonight. So, yes, today's the day.
So today would be where I would be scouring the waiver wire.
That's correct.
I think it would be a nice thing for your friend Dave, for you to do a little work on your fantasy team before he joins us on Thursday.
But then he'll just have to fix everything that I already did.
He's got a point there.
But if you do it based on what he says to do on the video that drops later, then he'll be telling you the same thing on Thursday that he's telling you in the video later today.
Well, I really just need one wide receiver and a kicker. Would you like to tell me which kicker to take?
Sure.
Okay, which kicker should I take?
Well, you have to give
Give
him
me the- you gotta
options.
give
You
me-
don't
give
know
me
who's
options.
available.
Well, we got Buffalo, Green Bay, Baltimore, Tampa Bay. Do you think Tampa Bay is going to kick a lot of field goals? Huh?
No.
Do you think you got the Baltimore is playing Minnesota? You think they're going to kick a lot of field goals?
No.
Green Bay is playing Philadelphia. You think they're going to kick a lot of field goals?
Green Bay.
Kaboom.
There you go.
Waiver wire done. Skabam.
Look at you.
No, it's not working. It froze up on me.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Now we go. Now we got the waiver claim in.
Good luck to you.
Thanks, buddy.
How much is on the line?
I've never come close to winning, so I wouldn't know.
How much do you put in at the beginning of the season?
$750,000. $75.
I think I've forgotten myself. I don't know.
High stakes.
It's not enough juice to hold my interest for an entire season.
I just feel like I should try. I just feel like I should
and
try.
once you do it, you're doing it every year. I get it.
Oh, I don't put a lot of thought into it.
But
I
in
was
years
just-
past when I've done it, it's not enough money for me to care to like make moves every week.
No, I don't make moves every week. I just try to fill the roster with people that are playing.
Make sure you have enough players.
Right, exactly. Like I don't want to go in without guys in positions, and we have Dave Richard on, so it's like not hard for me just to go, "Hey, what should I do?" I think it's one of those things. Like I get, at least you said juice and not time, because I always found it so annoying when people were like, "I don't have time." Like, what are you talking about? Time? 5 seconds.
Right.
You just gotta. You hit player and then add some guy. It takes you like legitimately like 5 minutes.
But as long as this show has been embracing metaphors the way we have, let me tell you that amount of juice is not worth the squeeze of even that 5-second squeeze you just did.
No,
with
yeah, the
that
juice.
Green Bay kicker.
The juice I get. It's the time that I always found annoying. Like you're so busy.
Mm-hmm.
You have so much going on that you can't look at your phone for 5 seconds.
Oh no, I got all kinds.
Yeah, the juice I get, because it's like, well, I'll put it this way: if I don't win, it's not like I'm like curses, you know, like. But I would like Lockhart's in it and Roach is in it and Wallach's in it. Like at some point, I would like to, like not necessarily win, but like, but advance in the playoffs or something. Like I don't know if I've ever won a playoff game. I don't think I have. Let alone very rarely make the playoffs. Which makes me think there's trades going on all over the place with people. I got a trade offer that I would have taken, but I didn't know how to accept it.
What was the offer you got?
Oh, John, you think I remember these details?
Okay.
Very,
My
very.
bad.
I mean, it was a couple of weeks ago. I have no idea what was going on. But do you want DeAndre Swift or Warren from Pittsburgh? Would you like to deal a receiver for one of them?
Let me look at my roster. We may
Because I have a back. If you would like Warren or Swift, and both of them have been pretty good. So that's up to you to decide. All right, when we come back, Paul Finebaum. Lots of firings going on and things in college football. It's very interesting. Indiana would have thought they'd ever be the second-ranked team in the country. We will be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
TD Garden last night. Keontae George scored 31 points for the Jazz, and Yusuf Nurkic grabbed an offensive rebound over Neemias Queta and made a shot with less than a second to go to win the game. Derek White's team on the other side, 11 of 51 shooting threes.
It's tough, especially when you feel like you're getting good looks. I think for a lot of us, feel like we're getting good looks, and then you keep missing them. It's frustrating, but it's part of the game. You got to just keep going.
They'll host the Washington Wizards tomorrow night. The Bruins visit the New York Islanders this evening. The Bees are 7-7 overall. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Elias Lindholm not at practice yesterday. He has been listed as week to week. The NFL trade deadline arrives at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Patriots quiet so far. They'll practice tomorrow. They visit Tampa Bay on Sunday. Alex Bregman and Lucas Giolito opted out of their contracts with the Red Sox, making them free agents. Garrett Crochet is a finalist for the American League Cy Young Award. Roman Anthony, a finalist for the AL Rookie of the Year. And Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are among 8 candidates for election into the Baseball Hall of Fame from the ERA Committee. The results of that voting will be announced on December 7th. Sports Hub headlines are powered by Oakers Technologies. A winning playbook is the key to success, and when it comes to your company's technology, the Oakers playbook has been unstoppable for over 100 years. So get future ready with Oakers, proud partner of your New England Patriots. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
You actually coaching the game, or it's just that is. I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
Sports. What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube live and then throughout the day, whenever you'd want on demand. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, college football. You know what's not been doing any favors is, I've mentioned it before the break, Indiana being number 2 in the country. Because then if you're like Penn State or LSU, you're like, all right, what are we doing here? How is this guy at Indiana, who's like football stadium seats 35,000, how are they competing against us? Why are they better than us? That's got to be a real... And they're not going to lose, by the way, because they don't play anyone. I looked yesterday. They beat Oregon.
Yeah.
But they play, like in Penn State, on paper, looked like it was going to be a good game.
Penn State, Wisconsin, and Purdue are the 3 games they have left.
Yeah, and I don't imagine that they're got to be over a touchdown favorite in all of those games. I would imagine.
They play Ohio State in the championship game, right?
They would play. How does the Big Ten work? Is that how it works?
I don't know. I'll have to look.
I just know one division of the Big Ten was extraordinarily difficult, and the other division was Iowa.
Okay.
It used to be like, because Michigan State, when they were good, Michigan and Ohio State were all in one division. And then like Iowa was in the other division.
The way I'm looking at it here, and this is a quick look on ESPN, there aren't 2 divisions. There's one big division.
Okay, so when they absorbed the Pac-12, they did not, or the teams from the Pac-12.
But Indiana and Ohio State are the only 2 teams that are undefeated in conference. So.
Okay, so it's just the 2 top teams in the conference would play each other. Fair enough. And then I would imagine there's quite a tie-breaking scenario because it's not overall record, right? It's conference record.
I would imagine, right?
I don't know. I'm not that into it, to be honest with you. But I am into Paul Finebaum. Not so much listening to his show as having other people listen to it and cultivate the calls. Paul Finebaum, he is broadcast on every Southeastern Hick radio station. They love him. And,
hey, Paul.
I've been on his show before. I enjoyed the experience. And Paul Finebaum has played our response to his calls on his show before.
Hey, Paul.
I think Paul's brilliant. I have to say this every time. I think Paul's brilliant because he allows space for inbred lunatics to say their piece.
Huh?
And if you are thinking of sending your kid to an SEC school, this might be a good primer for what they're in for.
Hey.
Good friend of mine, daughter, accepted to Alabama. Not a great feat, but accepted to Alabama and is considering going here. And consider this a warning. Here we go.
Daryl is up next in Columbus, Georgia. Hello, Daryl. Go right ahead.
named after the Newhart characters.
Hi, I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl.
Great minds.
What's going on, Paul? I want to talk about Auburn, but first, I want to talk about Auburn. First, I want to say this. Tell Kenny Chesney, okay? I got him a hit song. I promise you I do, called A Little More Love. It will. If he sings it, I promise you it will top the charts. I got him a song. Now, first, Paul Rock.
Well, now so that's just a cold call to Kenny Chesney.
He had Kenny Chesney on the program yesterday, so all the callers were going bananas over the fact that Kenny Chesney was on the show.
Why would Finebaum have Kenny Chesney on as if there's any crossover? You can tell Paul's going into politics because he's just started to go rogue. This is his playing guitar, having Kenny Chesney on. I can't imagine his audience would be a fan of his. Kenny Chesney, who so boldly ripped off the entire career of Jimmy Buffett. That guy's making a lot of money. I'm from the South. I'll be the new Buffett. He's old. He'll die soon. And then sure enough, he did.
I got him a song. Now, first, Paul Rock. Georgia. Does Georgia...
Rock's Georgia. It's all the same. Clouds. Sodomy. Georgia.
Now, first, Paul Rock. Georgia. Does Georgia remind you of like watching the Rocky movie? You think you got them beat.
You got your go.
You think you got them beat. You're ahead on the scorecards. It's a 15-round slugfest. And then in those last couple rounds, Rocky just catches fire. And in the 15th round, before you know it,
he loses in the first one.
Yeah.
You're laying on your back, looking for your mouthpiece. Your eyes are rolled in the back of your head, and all you see is the referee counting you out. With another Kirby Smart.
That was his thesis at Alabama. Comparing the Georgia football program to Rocky. You can notice the amount of detail he puts into it, even with the mouthpiece.
With another Kirby Smart knockout right hand. Florida haters. That's what Georgia reminds me of, is like watching the movie Rocky. Now, Paul.
Yeah, you repeat it. You can really get it. You get it back in. So that's to finish things up. That was what I said.
Paul, you still there?
Paul. Oh, I'm here. Keep up with the dumbness. I'm here.
Now, Paul. But Paul, let me say this also, Paul, real quick. Chris, you had 16 returning starters, Chris, on your football program after making it to the playoffs. You are already eliminated from the playoffs, and you are the new Nebraska of college football. That's what you are, Chris, the new Nebraska. So when Dabo leaves...
Okay, that was funny, apparently.
You got one or two options, Chris. When Dabo leaves, you can, option number one, okay, you can stay at Clemson and be a loser. Or option number two, you can become a fan of that school about 100 miles away from you in Athens and don the red and black, which would be my recommendation. But Paul, I want to hear your take on Auburn, because I'm hearing that the head it's deeper than that, and these guys just don't want to get full control with these head coaches. Go Dogs. See you, Paul.
Huh?
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
See you, Paul.
Another proud graduate of
Go
the
Dogs.
University
See you,
of
Paul.
Georgia.
Go Dogs. See you, Paul.
Yeah, I don't listen. I'm defending Auburn people right now. The administration, the head, the athletic director of the Boosters, they gave Hugh Freeze everything imaginable. He screwed it up. Anyway, speaking about somebody who does not screw things up easily, the great Kenny Chesney joins us next.
No, all right.
What record executive wouldn't listen to
Me
that
too.
and smell money?
Well, it all sounds the same, and it all seems to make money.
Jesus save me, Blue Jean Baby.
Oh, yeah.
Mama, beer.
Chesney is a devout Christian. Devout. That's why he wears tight T-shirts. All right, and Paul took another call after everyone had calmed down from Kenny Chesney's appearance. He never gave the song though. He never really even investigated the song. The guy said he had a song. I would have.
Kenny Chesney, okay? I got him a hit song.
I would have had Paul have him sing the song. Wouldn't you have had him sing the song?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia. Hey. Georgia. Said I ain't helping.
Georgia. I lived in Georgia for 8 years. I never went Georgia.
Hit the road,
Jack.
don't you come back.
And you said it. I said it.
Hit the road,
Jack.
and don't you come back.
The same thing.
What you say?
I said.
You could live in Atlanta for your entire life. Never leave the city limits of Atlanta and never meet that guy. You stray, now probably 30 miles. Back in the day, it was like 10 miles outside of Atlanta. You would run into a lot of that. All right, here we go. More Paul Finebaum.
Stacy is up next. Stacy.
This better not be some broad crossing over gender lines.
Stacy Keach.
Oh, yeah, it could be a guy.
Stacey Abrams.
Yeah.
Stacy is up next.
Is that a guy?
James. It could be Stacey. It could be Stacey James.
And in PR. What are the chances there's a guy named Stacy in PR, which is a female-dominated industry?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Stacy is up next. Stacy.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Dang, rabbit outsmarted me again. How'd you end up with the pistol? Well, shucks. I guess
Kill the rabbit.
I guess we are. Well, touche, my friend. Which one of us you gonna pick off today, my little fluffy pal? It's Easter. One of us going down. Oh, hell, I was cleaning my gun and the dang fluffy rabbit got it.
What's up, Doc?
Oh, that ain't a carrot. That's my gun. Oh, there goes another kid. Well, see you later. Well, that's why we keep having them.
That's why we got to mess with them.
That's why we got to mess with them. I mean, all right, honey, it's your turn. These benefits ain't going to come without breeding.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. I repeat, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Thank you for repeating that. I couldn't hear it the first time you said it incredibly slowly.
JK, I hope you're okay over there, man.
I was just joking.
Just kidding.
JK.
I told you when you started talking that noise about Alabama when we lost to Florida State. I told you what was going to happen, JK. SMU. JK, I'm praying for you, brother. Then let me talk to I-Man. What's up, I-Man?
Oh, Imus. Oh, whoops.
It says, talking you up into heaven, man. Quack, quack.
Man, you mumbling about the news. Man, you were in radio without the ability to speak.
And very valid points about women's college basketball, I might add.
Have you ever tried to listen to Imus? It's like...
Deirdre. Talking about his wife.
My brother was got a hat shop in Albuquerque in Santa Fe.
Men's hat shop.
You actually sound like
66.
Hardy sounds like him.
Salsa.
I got up in Santa Fe. You go to see him, and then you go to the ranch. Deirdre and I went to the ranch. There's kids there running around. It was great.
Guy lived in New York City, dressed like he was a rancher, and then so he got himself a ranch, which is amazing because
for the kids.
But you were in radio, and I just saw a report that, like, in the 90s, you were making
19 past the hour. Yeah, we did it for the kids, and Deirdre and I used to go down there a couple of times a year, and my brother would come up and give everybody a hat.
But you were making $1 million a year, which is a lot of money, certainly, but I don't know if that's sprawling ranch money.
Yeah, still 19 past the hour, but we have plenty of money. And my brother, he's done very well with the hats and the boots. But Deirdre and I would go down there. It's almost 20 past now. Not quite. Still 19 past the hour.
How do you keep from tripping over your jowl?
The jowl is Benny. You come in here and talk to this guy, this nincompoop.
You know, the guy that lived next door to me as a freshman was a sophomore, and he was McCord's son. So how do you like that?
Oh.
All right, here we go. And I had no idea who Imus was. And he was like, my dad's on the Imus show. And I went, oh, the guy Howard Stern makes fun of. Okay.
JK, I'm praying for you, brother. Then let me talk to I-Man. What's up, I-Man? You still passing out stupid shirts?
Yeah. I am, thank you. It's a political protest.
It's not just a shirt. It's a snap button down that we made in conjunction with Stetson.
I invented it. I'm stupid.
I got a nice turquoise flare around the collar, and you can get those right now. You get one for free when you buy a hat and the hat boot combo.
It's pointing at Tip O'Neill. Tip O'Neill is stupid. Go watch his White House press correspondence dinner. People were outraged by it, and I'm like, I'm outraged that I can't understand one word he's saying. I remember seeking out that audio and hearing it, and he's like, brr. And then Barbara Billingsley, she said like, now I've caught a rat. Pause for applause. And then here you got Jared Scrumenbach, and he's over here with Stacy Gimbel.
Attorney General, that one me looks more like a moose.
Well, it's too tight a joke on this. It was more just random names.
Now you over there sick trying to look for a coach.
Yeah, of course. Aren't we all in this mixed up world?
Now you over there sick trying to look for a coach. You should have kept Alabama name out your mouth. That's all I got to say, Paul. Then J.K. going to ask you last week, Paul, who you think the better team, Alabama or Texas A&M? Well, we know who ain't the better team. Them Hurricanes. What you think about that, Paul?
And then he hangs up.
They're in trouble. They're probably gone for the season, as usual.
They have 2 losses.
What you think about that, Paul?
All right, there you go.
Gotta love this kid. Anyway,
you can't be hating on Tebow there, because if you're hating on Tebow, you're hating on Jesus. Whether you're a Christian or not, it's irrelevant.
What is he talking about?
I kind of hate on Tebow. 22 pass.
Oh, he's saying Tebow.
Tim Tebow.
Oh, maybe he was talking about me.
Is that possible?
Yeah, possible. I think he was talking about me. Was that in the system?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He was talking about you.
Oh, I had no idea that Imus talked about me.
You got to love this kid. Anyway.
You can't be hating on Tebow there, because if you're hating on Tebow, you're hating on Jesus.
Oh, they played my
Whether
audio.
you're a Christian or not, it's irrelevant.
Oh, how about that? I was
plenty
on
of the haters out there.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
32 after the hour, Mary Matlin.
There it is. Hardy.
That's when I made fun of the Tebow party, and it went national news.
Oh.
And unfortunately, not a funny joke. Nothing offensive, but you can go back and look at it.
You're going against Christianity. You got your tail caught in the rocking chair there. You look like one of them Katzenjammer kids, 23 pass.
He was talking about me, and I didn't understand what he was saying. All right, very good. What an honor. I didn't know that Imus had talked about me. I didn't remember, certainly. All right, because I doubt we played that audio, because I don't think we were trying to stir anything more up with that. It had become a little out of hand. Even my father had heard about it, because the big thing on Fox News was that I should be fired because Imus was fired, or was threatening to be fired, or fired for the Rutgers thing. So, like, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. It became a very race-driven argument. And I knew I was safe on the account of I'm white and Tebow's white, and I'm Christian and Tebow's Christian. I figured I'm okay. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Fluto Shinzawa will join us.
Mark Kelly needs to get out of that. He needs to resign. Yeah, hey, I bought crabs, oysters on the grill, and halftime, I told everybody they got to leave.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're over 50...
talking about?
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
Turn the corner. I don't like that. We got to realize who we are, first of all, right? I think we're not.
Fluto, hello, sir.
Good morning, Fred.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. What have the Bruins been doing right over the last 3 games as they've won the last 3?
Of course, the points, the last 3 games. But, Fred, I would really dial it down to the last game against Carolina, that 2-1 win. That was the first time all season that I saw them, that I bought what they were selling in terms of how they want to play, which is stingy, smart, tough, hard to play against, limiting chances against a varsity team in Carolina. Like, nobody would be surprised if that team is playing deep into June. So you consider all the variables that were involved with that game, how they played, of course, the result. Okay, you're missing Lindholm. That's a pretty big check mark against. But they didn't have to rely on the goaltending for once in a long time. Like the Buffalo game, yes, that was a win the previous game, but they did not play well. This game, game 14, that everything added up. And if they play like that, they have a chance to make the playoffs just because of the style and the opponent. And I think they have some belief now, the players, that, okay, the coach has put in something good. And if we execute, then we're going to be in good shape.
Okay, so can you kind of take us through what you saw in that particular game? Like, what were they doing? Because I read your article, but about that, like, how is that style of play? Can you kind of describe it to us?
Sure, yeah. It starts in the defensive zone, time and space. Now, Marco has instituted more of it's a hybrid zone system. So basically what it is, if the puck is higher in the offensive zone on the perimeters, in previous years, the Bruins would be like, okay, that's okay. We'll just let them have it. Marco says, no, we want to pursue and gain puck possession. So what do? They play man-to-man high in the offensive zone. That's a big change, and with no switches. So you stick with your man wherever he is in the zone. And you could see it just was not happening for pockets of the first dozen games or so. Then when the puck goes low, it's up against the walls or in a dangerous place, and they have an opportunity to really swarm, then you go into zone and you can outnumber the puck. So it's just been stops and starts and stops and starts in terms of how they want to play, how they grasp. It's like, I remember you guys maybe remember the one play, I can't remember the opponent, but Lowry and McAvoy both go after the guy in the corner, and then there's a guy wide open in front, boom, that's it. We just saw that so many times. This, you saw, okay, especially against Carolina, which loves to shoot, that they were so good in terms of closing quickly, taking away the middle of the ice, protecting that net front, and having layers. All those pieces really added up. And really maybe 2-3 quality chances for Carolina all game, 1 on the power play. That's really, really good for an opponent.
You mentioned Mason Lowry, and it's really hard not to draw a direct line. Mason Lowry's been a healthy scratch in 3 straight games, correct?
Yes.
And they've won all 3 and looked a lot better in their own defensive end. Am I reading too much into this?
And Hampus has been in those 3 games too, right?
Yep.
So yes, it's like it was he had to sit down just because of how often things were breaking down when Mason was on the ice, and it was affecting Charlie's game when they're playing together. Okay, Marco is not asking Mason Lowry to be Nicholas Lidstrom. Like he's just not that. That's not who he is. That his strengths are up the ice, working the point, making good plays with the puck to get out and get going on the rush. But you have to have at least a minimum threshold of defending, of being firm, of being stiff, of being in the right position, of making the right reads and making the right decisions. It just wasn't happening. Now, I think some of that is opponent-based. Like, if you're playing with Charlie, you're going to be playing against good players versus, especially if you're at home and he's on the third pair and you can shelter the guy, then there's a path forward there with Mason to express more of his strengths and kind of nullify what he doesn't do as well. But yeah, it wasn't working. They're getting points. The defense is playing better, so he's just going to have to wait his turn.
When you talk about like the stinginess and some of the toughness, is that what more of what we saw exhibited in the first couple games of the season, Fluto? Because I kind of chuckled at myself last week when I remembered asking you, like, wow, did you think it would click this early for these guys? And then they fell apart for a bit. Have they recaptured some of that? And is it some of the stuff we saw early on that they've kind of found again?
Yes. Now, I want to see it in more than one game against Carolina, just because the game before against Buffalo just was poor. But yes, more, and especially coming off that horrible Ottawa game that they had up there. So I think the coach would want to see more of a consistent effort over a larger sample size. But yes, in terms of being more confrontational, of being there on time on the forecheck, and especially in the defensive zone, like that one game really stands out just because of how consistently they did it over the 3 periods and the contrast between how they were not doing it for such a long time. So look, I think back to that first game in Washington. Yes, they get the points, but again, they were outshot and they were outpossessed for a while. At least they did play with spirit, and they did try and execute the coach's game plan, which they just hadn't done when they were going downhill. So I think this is a real good foothold for them to say, and I'm sure that video is going to be coming up often for Marco and saying, look, this is how we played against Carolina. This is how we have to play against everybody. And if we do, then we're going to be in good shape.
All right, Korpisalo started 2 games in a row. Did you make anything out of that?
A little bit. Hey, Jeremy didn't have much support against Ottawa, but could he have given a little bit more of a fight there? Maybe. I wasn't too there's a little bit to read into it in terms of, hey, Jeremy's a competitor and this will get his attention, just because I'm sure it was automatic in his mind that after Jonas plays that one game that, okay, it's going to be my turn. So I think that got his attention. But I don't think the goaltending has been the issue here. It's just been they've had to do so much, and so much has been expected of them to steal points, that's not really high on the list of worries for the coach and for management at this point. And you have to give Jonas a hat tip just for the way he played, that he stole some points there. And good for him. And it's a good way to motivate him to say, hey, if you play well, then there's going to be more opportunity for you to perform than there was last year. So it's tricky to keep both guys motivated in the right way. But hey, again, goaltending is not high on the list of worries.
Fluto, I wanted to take your temperature about Elias Lindholm. He was officially listed as week to week by Marco Sturm yesterday. And in all sports, when a team says week to week, it's very rarely 7 days and the player is back. How long do you think he will be out?
Yeah, a couple weeks. I don't know what the injury is, but Marco said yesterday that the results from his MRI, I think it was over the weekend, were what they expected, and he didn't express and exude optimism over that assessment. So yeah, it'll be a couple weeks. That's too bad, just because he's been more of a threat on the power play. One of the things that really caught my eye, though, was that he's still 0 5-on-5 points. So he hadn't been doing literally anything to drive offense with David at 5-on-5. But even to the eye, and then you look at the power play and the face-offs and the defense, that this has been a different player than the one that started last year. So yeah, that's too bad. Is Husendinov a long-term solution there for at least a few weeks? We'll see, but he's been good in terms of pushing the pace and being better with the puck, and being hard on the forecheck. So we'll see. But yeah, that's a big loss. It's too bad.
All right. Fluto Shinzawa, great stuff as always. Read him in The Athletic. He's got everything covered with the Bruins. Thank you, Fluto.
Okay, guys, have a good day.
All right, appreciate it. There you go, Fluto Shinzawa with some optimism based on the way they played against Carolina.
I was shocked. I really thought Korpisalo would get the start in net against Carolina based on how they'd played the 2 games previous to that. It was night and day, that disaster in Ottawa, and then the 2 games after that with Korpisalo in net, they looked like a different team. But, I mean, they played a great game against Carolina.
Yeah,
So,
according to Fluto, the best game they played this season. So that's good news for Jeremy Swayman. And he mentioned playoffs. If they play that way, they can make the playoffs, which would be fantastic. 1 round. Just asking for 1 round of the playoffs.
it would be an upset.
Or really just the end of the season. Just to have, I don't want trade deadline again.
Yeah.
And then,
Then it was over.
Well, I didn't watch it. Why would you watch the team after that?
Yeah.
Unless you had tickets that you had already bought.
To
You
learn
couldn't
how
sell
to
'em.
pronounce Hustadinov.
Yeah. I didn't watch another game. I was like, what's the point? Who cares? So that would be nice if they could at least challenge for a playoff spot. I would like that very much, especially given that the Celtics look like a play-in team. That would be nice because I don't need all this going away in beginning of June. I'd like at least something to talk about.
Yeah, baseball, Fred. One final season of baseball.
Nothing like a outstanding June baseball discussion.
Yeah.
Just like they're having in the clubhouse.
Right.
Every day. They every day with a fine-tooth comb.
All they
go
talk
after.
about.
Right. When Ozzie Guillen, they said, what do you do after a game? And he goes, I take Ambien at the bar and then see how long I can last until I can get up to the room. That's literally what he said. You can tell that he was poring over film every night.
Right.
The idea of combing over a 1 of 162 baseball game is you're doing more than the team's doing. They got to prepare for the next day, and the pitchers and the batters and the pitchers got to prepare if they're going to pitch, and they got to have everyone on point, and they got to have their information printed out. I'm not saying they don't do anything. I'm just saying when the game's over, that game's over. They got to give them a little more sample size than 1 game. You drive yourself insane. And false hope or too much. Give me a month. Then every month you can go, all right, here we go. Or if there's some kind of streak of some kind too. Keep an eye on it. Every day. No. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics are now 3-5 after a loss to Utah.
best gift that you can give. So today my daughter doesn't have school. It's election day, and so she doesn't have school. And I know that they want to repeal the Newton parking ban of parking on the street, which I kind of need to be repealed because of my son has a car and my daughter's 15. I'd like them to repeal the ban because you can only park behind cars in my driveway. I'm sure I could figure something out, but how many driveways can hold 3 cars or 4 cars? It's a lot of cars. So I am all for this repeal of the ban. I really don't know what we'll do if you can't. So anyway, I got to vote on that, but I didn't. I was finding it very difficult to find information because if I'm there and I have to vote on that, I don't want to, just throw someone a vote and then find out that I hate them. I mean, there are school committee things open, but I don't know anything about these people, and I didn't know how to find out any information. But I told Adam, and Adam is asking me what ward I'm in. Which you could have found out yourself. Some research.
Yeah, I could have punched your address in and looked it up, but why would I do that?
Everyone else does.
Oh. But yes, it's interesting. Interesting stuff. I'll give you some information. Apparently, there's 2 camps of school committee candidates in your city. So a few that are endorsed by the teachers, Woburn Teachers Union, and then a few that are not.
The Woburn Teachers Union.
I'm sorry, Newton. I said. I'm thinking of my own town as well. Who has we've got 10 candidates running for 5 open school committee seats in Woburn today. So
now, could you run for the school committee? Could you handle that and your job?
I would have no. I'm better suited for being in the Special Education Parents Advisory Council, which I'm the president of currently. That's more my speed.
Is that like the PMRC, the who censored the music, the Parents Music
yes,
Resource Center?
Me and Tipper Gore. That's right. We're rolling deep.
Yeah. All right. So I gave Adam that. He's hard at work.
Yes.
He's going to tell me exactly who to vote for. Usually I rely on firemen. Is how I've relied on in the past. When there was something going on, I'd have a friend of mine who's a fireman tell me who to vote for.
Firefighter, please.
Fireman.
Firefighter.
He's a man of fire.
12, could you tell me what's going on in Canton, Massachusetts today?
Sure, I can get on that.
I mean, there's
some protests.
The kids, always, perpetually. No, but my son doesn't have school today because of the elections. Yeah. And I have no idea. Is it just state voting today, or is there something on the ballot locally that I should be aware of?
I can take a look into that for you in Canton.
All right, thank you.
He's stretching you too thin. You had my assignment first, Adam.
I gave that to you as a friend. He completed the assignment.
No, he didn't.
No.
No. It's very exploratory right now.
You were asking about my bandwidth, and I have bandwidth to be able to handle all this because I got all my stuff in Woburn sorted out. I know who I'm
Maybe we should have
there.
Nick do it.
Oh, yeah. Do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. I'd end up writing in Elmo if it's up to him. This is a school board. Elmo knows how to spell.
Nick, I know what you didn't vote for. Love. Loyalty. I know what you did vote for. Estrangement. Let me see my grandkid.
Oh. Yeah. That's what I said. Very good. We had his dad on. His dad's doing well. We had his dad on. Come on. It's all good it's all good in the hood, but it is election day. It's very exciting. One of these elections with nothing really on the table. I wonder why people run for the school board. That does interest me. I have no idea what's going on. There's people like Adam that have every idea what's going on,
yes.
But Adam has a reason to.
Of course,
he had to fight very hard.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that sarcastically.
No,
Adam had to fight that very hard.
That, yeah.
I very much appreciate what you had to go through. So I can see you being involved, but unless there's a situation like you had or something like that, I've very little interest in local government, which is odd because that's where the most direct change can happen.
Yes,
or you can make the most change too. Right.
That's right. You think global, act local.
That's right.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, all that stuff.
If we could get to a cesspool system.
Hardy's eyes just lit up.
Do you want a cesspool?
He likes
system?
the reuse
Yeah,
part.
no more pipes all over. Boo. Cesspools. Open access to cesspools. Less heavy lids. That's my ballot proposal.
Redefining town dump.
Mr. Councilman, take down that bathroom wall.
Yes, you have not gone far enough with the bathrooms. There's too much separating them. There should be no doors allowed on bathrooms. Please. Camera access to keep an eye on things. All right. We will be back. Andrew Callahan will be joining us as he will join us for 1 full hour in the 2 stats and 1 lie where Hardy won last week, but John has a commanding lead because he won the dumb tie thing.
The all lie.
The all lie thing.
Yeah.
And so it's really not been the greatest year for 2 stats, 1 lie. I'll get this all out of the way now so we'll have more time for the game. Is that the 2 points that I have came days after the 2 stats, 1 lie and had to be voted on by a council.
Yeah.
And John's got some lead that can never be taken because he won once. So
I won back to back. Come on,
you know. But the reason you're so far ahead is because of the 1 win.
That's true.
Yeah, that's exactly how you got it because you have 6, I have 3.
And Fred has 2.
And Fred is suckling hind teat with 2.
Right. There's nothing on the line, which is unfortunate. But if I can't think of a zany bet, I'm too old. I'm too old to think of some zany punishment. That will never happen. That's what happens with these radio things, is that there'll be a punishment and then it never ends up actually happening.
No, it happened last year.
Didn't Felger say he was going to throw himself in the river or some crap like that a long time ago?
No, we put him in a dunk tank is what happened. Remember that?
Yeah, but he was going to throw himself like in the river, like in the winter. Like he was going to throw himself in the Charles River or something.
There was
Remember
that one thing that he did where he said he would get shirtless and put a ball gag on.
Oh, that was McCone.
that was just because he wanted to. He wanted to show off his
That was
physique.
different.
Now, did he do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you know the best story about showing off your physique. Burt Weiss, who just retired, was in Atlanta, and he had a punishment where if he lost, he had to take like sexy pictures. So Burt, who's 4'11", or very close to it, and so has a lot to make up for, spent 8 months with grueling exercise and diet restrictions so he could take quote unquote embarrassing photos. And they would put them on billboards. So it was a shirtless, jacked Burt on these billboards, and it was ludicrous.
Yeah.
It was absolutely ludicrous. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It should have been more of a George Costanza situation.
Well, I mean, just like
lover boy.
like what? Who says like this is like okay, yeah, like you're trying really hard to look good so you can be on billboards looking good.
No good.
In any way, is this a punishment? Like This is all for your ego. This is stupid. Congratulations on,
ruining
getting thin and, vascular. But, I mean, oh, boy, did it bother me. He could eat 3 grapes or something ridiculous like that for breakfast. There was like a number of grapes he could eat. They had to be grapes. Oh, I hated him. I hated him so much. He was such a dick. But now he's gone. He's retired. So he can travel the world and have a consulting firm. So F you, Bert. I don't like you. All right. Very good. We will be back in just a moment.
Booster and Maz. Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics home game against Utah literally came down to the last second last night.
Keontae George, the hero for Utah, out near half court. 7 seconds to go. George down the right side. Pritchard on his shoulder. George turns, fades. Shot is no good. Offensive rebound. Nurkic. Put back is good. With 0.6 of a second remaining, Utah breaks the tie.
That is Sean Grandy here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And Yusuf Nurkic gave Utah a 105-103 win at TD Garden. Jaylen Brown 36 points in the loss. Celtics are 3-5. They play the Washington Wizards tomorrow night. Bruins, meanwhile, visit the New York Islanders tonight. Bruins are 7-7 overall. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Elias Lindholm missing from practice yesterday. He's been listed as week to week. The NFL trade deadline arrives at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and for now the Patriots have been quiet. Today's a player's day off. They'll practice tomorrow and visit Tampa Bay Sunday. And there's been a trade this morning. Dallas got linebacker Logan Wilson from Cincinnati for a 7th-round draft pick. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99, like the grilled teriyaki chicken, available every Monday through Wednesday for just $14.99. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Mays under center, offset off.
Drake
May. Throws down Drake rolls well, working traffic. Off balance, throw it in the end zone. Caught by Jones. Pass is going to be.
Drake May plays on one station in Boston.
Here's another Drake May moment. Drake May.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Dutcher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
It's a fun group to coach because I think that they're going to always want more.
Andrew Callahan is here. I will get to his introduction in one moment. We all got this email. There is according to the CEO, there is a organization, NTSAD, dedicated to an ultra-rare genetic brain diseases that are fatal in children and severely debilitating to adults. And they're having a fundraiser, Imagine and Believe, on Thursday evening in Cambridge, where they will be auctioning off 4 tickets to the November 14th Jets game, which the Jets, I talked to Hardy about this, should win. They got to win one of these Patriots games. You got to win at least one of the divisional games. So anyway, if you're interested in this, go to ntsad.org, and they have all the events, ntsad.org. So there you go. I've done my very philanthropic endeavor for the day. Andrew Callahan covers, of course, the Patriots for the Boston Herald. He's brought to you by Ramjack New England, your local foundation repair experts. Visit them at ramjack.com. Andrew Callahan, hello, sir.
Good morning. Happy deadline day.
I know. Let's get into it. The Cowboys had promised, Jerry Jones had promised that there was going to be a big move.
Ooh, huge
and
move.
indeed, they got a linebacker no one's ever heard of off the vaunted Cincinnati defense.
It's a competition to see which team can have the worst defense in the National Football League. It's close. It's very close.
Look, anytime you have the second worst defense in the league and you can pluck players from the worst defense in the league, you have to do it.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. Well, they looked electric last night, that Cowboys defense against Jacoby Brissett.
You watched?
I watched, bits and pieces. I saw the highlights. I mean, I saw Marvin Harrison Jr. catch everything thrown to him.
Do you have cable?
I do have cable.
Okay, there you go. I might be going back.
Yeah, I got news for you. Cable never goes away.
That's just
Cable's
the thing.
just there.
Yeah, you turn it on and pow, no problem.
Yeah,
there it is.
Like my ex-wife
Wallace at home just with the remote. Pow.
Yeah.
My ex-wife has YouTube TV.
No Celtic games to call. So.
And it's like, just what I don't. The cable's cable. I'll keep cable. And now I watch the game. Now, did I care about the game? No. Did I? Was I married to it? Would it have mattered to me if it wasn't on? No.
But you
it
had
was
the
there.
option to watch.
Right. Like the
which is more
Nessun app,
than you have.
the
sir.
Nessun app went down. The Nessun app went down. Well, I don't need the Nessun app.
Yeah.
Which is expensive, by the way. So, I mean,
You don't want the Nessun 360?
No. And then all I don't get is Country Music Television, the Cartoon Network, and the Big Ten Network. Now, the Big Ten Network is kind of annoying, and I might have to get that app because I like Michigan State basketball, but I could care less about the football team. But the basketball, that's the only thing I'm missing. Now, I know you can get a package for the cable, but I don't feel like going through that rigmarole. So we're there's where we're at. But cable never goes away. All right, so Andrew, here we go. We are on trade deadline. When is it? 5 o'clock? What time is it?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, of course. Give people an hour for cocktails early. But it's at 4 o'clock. What should the Patriots do? If Andrew Callahan is somehow in charge of this organization, which you really should be, what would you do today?
Madigan edge rusher and running back, and I'd even think about a second edge rusher if I'm willing to part with some more picks. Because I look at this defense right now. Forget the defense, actually. The whole team. They're 7-2. We understand they're contending. It's just a matter of, are you inner circle contenders with the best of the best, or are you kind of outside and need to get lucky to make a Super Bowl run? If you have Kayvon Chason or Harold Landry get hurt right now, that is devastating to your pass rush, and by extension, your defense and maybe the team. You're not getting a whole lot of pressure. 2 sacks the last 2 weeks, a middling pressure rate, anywhere you want to look. I don't want to live in that world where I need those two guys to be healthy. If Drake May gets hurt, okay, season's lost. I understand why. That's how football goes. But if just one of my 2 edge rushers, the only 2 edge rushers I trust, because then I have to play Elijah Ponder and Anthony Jennings go down, other quarterbacks are going to be as comfortable as can be. I don't want to live in that world. I want depth there at a premium position.
So you're going to edge rusher before, and walk me through it, because we have this. We've had this discussion. Protecting Drake May seems to be the premium, like you just said. If he goes down, your season's over. And I understand it's very difficult to pick up offensive line help at the trade deadline. But if you could, would you make that a priority over adding an edge rusher?
I just think, when I say you could, I'm saying
not even offensive line, some type of help for Drake May, whether it's a receiver so he can get the ball out quicker, or some type of protection help for Drake May.
So protection is more complicated than pressure in my mind, more because you have more things schematically, like you're talking about, quick passing game, rollouts, max protection. You keep 7 blockers in to offset and help there. I understand it's been bad. Like I watched the film yesterday. I had them down for a 50% pressure rate allowed for a second straight week. Some teams don't go a whole season with one game allowing 50% pressure in a single game. I just think they have more answers at their disposal. And even as much as everyone wants a pass rusher, you're not giving up starting caliber tackles or guards. And so to me, here's the biggest key when it comes to pressure on Drake May. It's going to be there. But what happens when it arrives on Drake May's shores is he's allowing pressure to become sacks at the second highest rate in the league, meaning he's taking bad situations, of which he's facing way more than he should, but he's making them worse than everybody in the league except for Cam Ward.
With his mobility, why is that?
He look, if I was 23 and had that arm and had that ability, I would think I can overcome anything. He said it after the game. He's like, yeah, I got this. I'm getting a bad habit of thinking I can outrun guys who I just can't. Because when he does extend plays, you go back to that win at Buffalo, that whole win started with a miraculous completion as Daquan Jones, who's got 70 pounds on him, is grabbing him by the neck and dragging him down. He makes the completion anyway. Then the throw to Booty, then they're kicking a field goal and they win. So there's a trade-off here, and that's where the season – I wrote this in the summer, and I stand by it. That's where they're going to live and where the season is either going to be made or broken. What happens when May's outside the pocket? Because we know he's outside. He's going to be under pressure. We know he's young. We know he has that ability, but that's also where the danger lurks. And right now, as you see the last couple of weeks, 6 sacks in 2 straight games, there's been more danger. And I think long-term, it's going to be harmful.
Okay, so you want edge rushers. Now, we know the big names that could be available, but what is realistic and what would be the return?
So they're the same boring names, and I think what you're looking at with the Patriots, because Mike Vrabel, more than most coaches, is pretty straight up at the podium, and this isn't strictly based on Vrabel. These are conversations I've had. Players that they can get because they've got extra 6th-round picks, maybe up to a 4th-round pick, but later round picks. So Arden Key is a name that's come up a ton from Tennessee.
Just real quick, do you agree with that? Do you think that they should keep their first 3 rounds?
I do.
Okay,
yeah, I do.
So you're not all in on this season?
No. And all in means, look, you're trading away part of tomorrow, a big part of tomorrow for today.
Right, and I made the point yesterday. It's not like you're tanking the season if you don't give up one of your first 3 picks. Like, that's not. an active, it's not like an act of sabotage to keep picks.
Yeah, think about Jared Wilson, their starting left guard. He was a third-round pick. That if you could give up a potential starter even as a rookie next year, do you want to do that? And granted, the odds are probably less than 50% that a third-round pick becomes a starter. But I like more now the front office and their ability to judge talent than I have any time in the last 10 years. This is the last time I want to give up picks like that.
Yeah, I mean, you hear about all the misses, but, I mean, just look at the field of college football players and then do the math that these are like, the 50th best, 60th best college football player, like somewhere along the lines, someone falls through the cracks. Like there's quite a bit of talent out there, is what I'm saying. You haven't even gotten through the rosters of the major colleges at that point. All right. So when you're going to specific names, you were mentioning some people I've never heard of. So keep going with that.
Well, again, Arden Key played one season in Tennessee under Mike Vrabel. I wouldn't put a ton of stock into that, but he fits the Venn diagram of is not going to cost a day one or day two pick like a Trey Hendrickson probably, and then also with someone with some experience in Vrabel and fits the scheme. Running backs, because I know everyone wants to talk about running backs. Devin Singletary with the Giants is a name that I look at. There are some other ones out there that you could throw around, but the starting point there has to be blitz pickup, because even TreVeyon Henderson was a little bit better on Sunday. I had him down for 3 pressures allowed and 8 snaps of blitz pickup. So you get a guy for a very specific role. You don't have to break tackles left and right, but those are the guys on their list that they're going to go, look, we can get you in here to learn the offense quickly, and you'll be able to pick it up and pick up a blitz when we need you to.
Okay, so if they don't make any moves, where are they the thinnest? Like if you're watching a game, where can they stand to lose people the least?
It's a good question.
A lot of places.
Because like if you're looking at the trade deadline as like depth, right? And if they make a move,
so you think they would give up a player? Is that the thing?
No. I'm talking no. I'm talking about like if I'm looking at the rest of the season and I know I have like 6th round picks to move, so I'm not going to get a starting caliber player maybe, or like an iffy like rotational player, and I'm looking at it. One of the things I might want to do is protect against injury. If I'm moving low level picks, I'm talking. Right. You don't understand what I'm saying. Like it's a pick swap, like my guy your guy in a 7th for a 6th, like something like that. If I'm looking for that, like what, like so at 4 o'clock after 4 o'clock today, we're looking at what they did. If there's some player that we're like, is there a positional group where that makes sense, where they are like an injury away from being in big trouble?
Gotcha. So edge rusher, which I already said, running back, I think is close, and those are the obvious ones. Safety is a position that's a little trickier to get someone in the door and say, hey, here's the playbook, be ready by Sunday. Del Pettis played 1 snap, and he had a pass breakup. Good for him. But he's not a player that you really trust in man-to-man coverage, and that's what this defense wants. So that's a position where if they've got someone who's familiar with the defense, safety is a position I would look at, even corner. I mean, Christian Gonzalez goes out for the last 7.5 minutes. He lost a couple battles to Drake London, but Drake London had 3 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown in those 7 minutes that Christian Gonzalez was gone. Fundamentally changes what you can do. It's not the defense is broken, but again, I think it's depth at those positions defensively, which has been worse than the offense, no question, that they would, if we have a surprise, it'll be one of those 2 spots.
Where does Christian Gonzalez rank in quarterbacks or cornerbacks in your estimation? Because it's very high.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Surtain is better. Maybe the guy in Carolina is better.
It's top 10 for sure. Yet last year was top 5. I don't think you'd have any argument there. But the issue is,
I thought on Sunday he looked like a top 3 corner in the league.
So
better than Sauce Gardner, I can tell you that. He is.
Tackle's better than Sauce too.
Sauce is all right tackling this year because he's got his money.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
so
now he's a little bit better with that.
So he's close. He's almost right there, and it's not just in his play because he's been back since late September. Remember, but they haven't been playing a ton of man coverage, and that's against bad teams with bad receiving cores, which to me says they see the rust maybe even more than we do with Christian Gonzalez. Granted, when he shadowed Drake London last Sunday, it was the first real true shadow assignment. You got him wherever he goes. You're following him that we had seen this season, but he gave up 3 catches for 67 yards. He had the 2 pass breakups. He looked really good. He's just not caught up to the guys who have played all season because there's being in shape and there's being in football shape.
There's, Surtain, Stingley in Houston.
Horn is really good.
Denzel Ward, Cleveland. But then you start running out of names after that.
J.C. Horn in Carolina, I'm telling you, he's very good. Mm-hmm. But what do I know? What do I know?
Okay, if this problem continues with the Patriots not being able to pressure opposing quarterbacks, what does that mean for this Sunday?
Boy, it's a great question because Baker is a guy who some Sundays looks totally immune to pressure, and you're like, F it, what else can we do? Let's put 11 in coverage. And other times you get close to him and he gets a little reckless, and you go, oh, that wasn't that hard. So it's hard to predict specifically with the Bucs, but I think long term, you face the better teams in the league. We all know have the better offensive lines in the league. You're just going to have a ceiling on the outcomes of those games, meaning like you're not going to blow them out because you're going to need to generate turnovers, which starts with generating pressure, and it's been harder for them. Not to mention, like, I had them for a 35% pressure rate, okay, which is good. It's good on Sunday, but there's a difference between I get close to you, and then I hit you or I sack you and knock you down. They're not doing more of the latter, so it's a soft kind of 30-35%.
Okay. All right. Andrew Callahan is here. We will continue to have him. My son says J.C. Horn is a bad take. Say A.J. Terrell. A.J. Terrell.
We saw him Sunday. Yeah.
All right. A.J. Terrell. There you go. That's what I'll say.
Isn't he in school?
No, he's driving 7 hours to school that he has to drive every day.
Texting while driving.
Well, he's probably sitting in traffic, or he's pulled over, certainly.
Is that why he's going 15 miles an hour?
He's not. He has the audio texting on his steering wheel.
Focus.
He's not looking at his phone.
I'm sure. I'll talk to him.
Do you not in your truck?
I'll talk to him.
I know you like
I'm
to
an experienced driver. I've been behind the wheel driving like Mario Andretti for the damn near 40 years. I can handle it.
You're a Motor City bad boy, but like
that's right.
Do you have one of those computers in your truck, or have you just gone like lo-fi in that thing, like where you can hit the button on your steering wheel and dictate a text?
Yeah, I can do all that stuff.
But you choose not to.
No, I focus. I still focus. I'm focused.
Are you focused?
There's no talking in the car. No talking.
There's no talking. There's no radio. There's no nothing.
I see.
The radio will
do
get
the
you all
thing.
wound
I'm very
up.
zen-like when I drive. Just focus.
Yeah, if I listen to NPR in the car, I'm like, the problems in the world. I'm like, oh,
you lose focus.
I lose complete focus, and then I have to stop driving the cab for a minute. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Andrew Callahan is with us.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy.
Nice. Every time I come in, as we're touching Hardy with Andrew Callahan in studio as he is every Tuesday, I come in, Hardy and Andrew. Andrew has a child coming on the way. And
could be tomorrow.
Hardy's always giving him parenting advice.
No, it was just the opposite of that, Andrew. Back me up on that.
Yeah,
but it was you were giving him advice not to pay attention to advice.
Right.
So it was advice.
He was reinforcing my belief of like, just like any big life event and people are anticipating and they're happy for you and they want to help and they offer. But lately it's just been a lot of, hey man, those first 3 weeks, woo!
No one remembers.
That sucks.
No
I'm like,
one
okay,
remembers.
great. I'm not doing it for those first 3 weeks,
No one remembers. No one remembers.
I think the human brain is wired so that you can't remember, so that helps you have another kid.
And that's right. No, you're laughing. You're laughing. But it's absolutely true.
No,
I
it's true.
I agree with Hardy. I do believe there's a genetic disposition to not remember when your kids are little so you can so you have more kids. I absolutely think that's true. 100% put me on a lie detector. I entirely believe it. You will remember you'll remember little bits. You remember coming home from the hospital. You remember like maybe like an instant. But like, did your kids sleep through the night? You asked me. I don't remember. I remember when they were toddlers and how much of a pain that was with my son. But once my daughter was born, but when they were like little infants, I don't remember. I remember the bris. That was a nightmare. Don't have one of those if you can help it. All right.
How many people went?
All too many. As many people as there was too many. And it wasn't so much the barbaric circumcision that was the problem, because I didn't watch that. It was the having a party the week after your kid was born with people from out of town, including your in-laws who were psychotic. So that's was a bit of an issue.
I've never attended a bris. I don't know what I would do with an invitation to a bris.
You take it.
You don't watch.
I didn't watch it. I mean,
do people watch though?
So I'm in
There
Brighton.
are some,
So
yeah.
I'm in a duplex in Brighton. There wasn't like a ton of room, and my father and the mother's father, Stephanie's father, had my son on like what passed as our dining room table, and the Moyle, who I don't remember at all, did it. But what I do know is that Milo was crying for some reason at 7 days old, and they gave him Manischewitz on a gauze, and they put it in his mouth.
Yeah.
And it did what you would think, nothing.
Yeah.
It did absolutely nothing.
That's standard. I've seen that a couple
So
of times.
my ex-wife is holding the child while she's sobbing, which has to be a genetic thing too, because their breasts will get tender. Yeah, their breasts will get tender when the baby cries. They'll start to lactate. It's another genetic thing. So the mother of my child is Stephanie. I'll just call it. Stephanie is holding the baby, and the baby is crying. She's sobbing uncontrollably. This is a week after the child was born.
This is a party too.
Yeah,
and you know
Dozens
what?
of people in the house.
And you know
Come on
what?
now.
My mother-in-law, you won't believe this, made it about her.
No. Does she do that?
My mother had just had knee surgery, and so we were like, she won't take the elevator. So she can't stay at a hotel, so she's going to have to stay in the guest room so she doesn't have to walk upstairs. And my mother-in-law threw such a fit. She went out on the porch. She couldn't be in the house anymore. She went in the porch to pout and talk on the phone to complain about us for about 6 hours. Because that's what she would do. She'd get mad, and then she would call people on the phone to bitch about it within earshot. I'm not lying. That's what she would do. You would just hear her bitching about you. Like within earshot, it was the most passive aggressive thing. It was terrible.
Sounds like an awesome
It sounds
time.
like also a great potential bit. Like there's no reason for a bris to be at night, but I imagine her calling Joe Murray and just like bitching about you. And he's like, "Oh, we got a hot one.
Yeah,
mother-in-l's on the line. We got to cut into this segment. Whatever breaking news.
A lot of
throw it away.
upsets.
What's Fred done now?
Do you have a spare 10 minutes? Happy to talk to you.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say that spot load's never getting played because he just let her go. I don't know if this has been covered already, but this Jones edge rusher from Tennessee that was given to the Ravens for a 5th-round pick, which is conditional. Was that someone that they would have been interested in? Tremont Jones? Do you know who that is?
Yeah, he's more of a defensive lineman, defensive tackle. He's a smaller guy.
Because they call him an edge rusher on this. Tennessee edge rusher Draymond Jones last night headed to the Ravens.
Yeah, Tennessee and like now the Ravens, because they run the same defensive schemes, can place people across the defensive line. And look, Milton Williams used to be strictly a defensive tackle. Same with Christian Barmore. The way they're using them now, I just call them defensive linemen. And it's not because I picked defensive end if I had to choose one, but their usage to me, just like we talk about, I don't know, big men in basketball or wings, like there's not just a point guard and a shooting guard, small forward, power forward. The terms, the usage is getting blurred now. So, yeah, versatile guy. 5th-round pick. I think it's probably just a disagreement on value there. And, again, where they need help the most is edge. Because even Kyrus Tonga, the 3rd defensive tackle, has been awesome. So if you're going to play him more inside, you're probably good for a 5th. But if they get an edge rusher, like, again, Arden Key, I keep bringing up, or somebody else, I personally would do that. Like that price is fine by me. You got 4 6th-round picks. You got 2 4ths. Come on now.
Okay.
I look at the offensive side of the ball, Andrew, and my theory has been while Drake May is on his rookie contract and his salary doesn't crush your salary cap and kind of limit your ability to retain people or bring in help, take advantage of this 7-2 season. Get this kid a wide receiver. Get this kid some help so we can get the ball out fast, as Hardy was saying, or, God forbid, have a guy who can bust one-on-one coverage when it's man-to-man. Patriots don't have a guy like that. And if you're 7-2, I mean, you are incredibly lucky to be where you are, 7-2 in year 1 of the Vrabel era. Take advantage of it while you can. Why won't they do that?
Well, they've actually been really good against man coverage. And part of it is May's legs. Now, stepping back for a second, if I was a defensive coordinator and I had guys who could run with the receivers, I would play man coverage against them.
Which wide receiver keeps a defensive coordinator up nights?
Kayshon Boutte deep. He's the best contested catch receiver in the league.
Okay, he's hurt right now. And
how hurt is he?
I don't think it's that serious, but this is just my general sense. I've not gotten back on any kind of word on the reporting on that. But Mike Vrabel said this week doesn't expect him to practice anytime soon. To me, that sounds like Sunday and probably the Thursday night game after, but maybe just one of them. Maybe just Sunday.
We got to hope he doesn't play on Thursday.
I don't want him to face the Jets.
But hold on.
They're only running the table away from a playoff shot.
Sure.
Kayshon Boutte misses that game, and Demario Douglas has his first 100-yard game of the season. Does that not speak to receiver depth?
I think it speaks to how good your quarterback is.
Yeah, I think the quarterback is elevating people around him more than the receivers are spectacular, don't you?
I think both can be true. I don't think we need to make this a mutually exclusive kind of proposition here. Because, again, when they are covered against man coverage, which is how I would play them right now, just you're at a pick your poison place with May, right? Like, he can be top 3 by EPA per play against man. I go, look, zone with this team and step on Diggs, his feel, and Boutte, and all this different stuff. It's just, I'm getting killed either way. But I feel better about those. So, to me, receiver's not that high on my list because I also know Boutte's going to get better. Pop Douglas is going to get better. Matt Collins is playing receiver, but he's actually only just blocking most of the time now. Once I actually throw him some footballs, and he had 8 catches a couple of weeks ago, he's gonna catch them.
Well, it's like the argument, like how many of these quarterbacks that are drafted are victims of the system that they're drafted into. It's the same thing with receivers, is that like these guys probably all have an inherent talent. There's no way that they're not fast or like their size. It's just a matter of a lot of what you can control is the guy throwing you the football.
And you're coaching, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so like there's no doubt. We saw it. Pop Douglas is a capable receiver with the ball in his hands. Boutte could have been a first-round pick if he didn't screw up. And so these guys are inherently talented, but the system and the quarterback weren't in place to let them, like a generational talent can overcome all of that. But like if you're just like a good receiver, that a 2-3 receiver, that's so dependent on scheme and quarterback. And I think that's maybe what you're seeing.
And I'm looking ahead to possible playoff opponents and wins you need in December to jockey for playoff position. Buffalo looked pretty good defensively against Kansas City last weekend, and Baltimore's defense, when healthy, is very difficult to go against, and you have those two teams back-to-back in December, and you may have to play one or two of them in the playoffs. So I would like a receiver that can excel against defenses like that. I'm talking about going and getting an impact guy. And if you have to give up a second-round draft pick, I'd still do it in a second.
So the Ravens, health is a little bit of a factor, but even when they were healthy early in the season, it's a bottom 10 defense.
No, they don't have a good defense.
The talent's there. which we recognize the names, and last year they were excellent, and I can't fully explain beyond just iffy coaching and health like you're talking about for why they've been bottom 10. But I'm not making a trade to beat the Ravens. If you want to make the case about why you would trade for a receiver and the defenses you're going to see, Kansas City plays a lot of man coverage. You've got the Colts who are doing a little bit of everything right now. Teams that you can say we're going to have to go play them. Here's a receiver who brings a different skill set than the guys you got right now, because Kyle Williams is just doing nothing through half a season. Rashid Shaheed from the Saints, who should absolutely be selling. That dude is a game breaker, can run up to 21, 22 miles an hour in the open field. Granted, it's one thing to just have him run. It's another to get him the ball in space. But if you can do that, he can take it to the house in the way that Booty can't, Diggs can't with the afterburner speed. Pop Douglas maybe, and Trevion Henderson. But that's a guy, if you want a different skill set to build out the receiving core, there's a name.
Okay. There is a name. And John is very much in going all in on the season.
Yes.
All in.
Oh, okay.
I am. I would look what happened to Washington Commanders this year. NFC Championship one year, and then all of a sudden a lot of people get hurt. Your quarterback gets hurt, and things are very different this year. There's no guarantee. It's just because they have this season that's good that it's going to repeat itself next year.
Before Andrew even answers that, though, couldn't you make the argument, John, that the Commanders last year, as good a year as that they had, and the win against the Lions was fantastic, but they got exposed for being as ready as they looked. They weren't really ready. So
sure, they got to the NFC Championship game and looked overmatched. Of course,
right. So what did they gain by having the run? I'm not looking past having a great run and getting to a conference championship. I'm not saying that's nothing and it was all for naught. But there is some folly in going in all in on a season when you think you've got everything working, everything clicking, only to be exposed in the second to biggest moment.
Because in the AFC this year, there isn't a one dominant team. In the NFC, the Eagles were it. Everyone knew it.
Well, no. If the Lions going into the playoffs were every bit as much of a favorite as the Eagles.
You're still making my point. The NFC, you knew there were dominant teams out there.
Stepped right into his trap, dummy.
Yeah.
Well, watch this. I'll confuse him by making him to do something right here.
Oh. The AFC doesn't have a monster out there, Andrew. The AFC is open this year, unlike the NFC last year.
So here's the deal. I like what Hardy's saying because it's a good point. If you don't win the Super Bowl and then you regress the next year, what good was it? But how would the AFC, aside from Cincinnati, whose defense is atrocious, how is the AFC going to be dramatically different next year than it is this year, except for Cincinnati?
I mean, there's so many moving parts, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Jackson is healthy for an entire year.
But if defense is their weakness,
I'm not looking that far ahead because again, you have teams go worse.
Well, it's a philosophical thing, and it's the trade deadline.
I understand, but look, there are other people I've heard speak like John is about the AFC's down. Now is the time to strike. Now is the time to do this. What I would tell you is that despite the record and the winning streak, the talent on the roster does not match the teams that you're going to need and win multiple playoff games, even if you make one player trade. You're not one player away. I look at this team as being one offseason away. Now, if I get better, as does the rest of the AFC, that's fine because I'm positioning myself not just to win in 2026, but in years after because you have a guy in Drake May. So my thinking is I don't want to maximize my championship odds this year. I want to maximize my championship odds, period, which means upping my equity year after year after year. Sustainable contention. And that takes a much better roster than they have right now, especially when you guys got like Shaheed and Jalen Phillips and all these people that we talk about that are on expiring contracts. So I do find it a little persuasive. But I think what they want to do is to be able to kind of set it and forget it with the roster and know they're going to show up and be there in January. This has been a surprise. But next year with a much harder schedule, because we know that has greased their wheels more than anything, that schedule stops being easy in January. I don't believe they're positioned to win multiple games right now, so I'm not going to do a one-player trade that maybe gives them a chance to maybe make the AFC Championship game and then maybe make the Super Bowl. Keep your bullets in the chamber, fire in the offseason, build the roster, be as bulletproof as you can.
All right. You go all in like the Jets last year, and look where they got them. I'll tell you this, is that you talk about a difficult schedule next year. You should see the hand-wringing going on because there's like Berlin and then 2 trips out to the West Coast. 2 trips out to the West Coast, I'm hearing for sure. I haven't looked at the potential opponents.
I think it's L.A. twice.
Yeah, all right, so you go L.A. twice, and then you're going to have to go to Berlin.
Isn't Brazil?
Wait, is Berlin?
Brazil, not Berlin.
Okay.
Brazil,
Okay.
yeah, Brazil.
Is that announced, though?
No, but, I mean,
speculated?
a couple of people that are involved in the broadcast have told me that they're pretty much resigned that they're going to Brazil.
And they're thrilled.
Yeah, because you can't leave the hotel. It's like a whole fun thing.
I know they've had people down there for that game in the opener. I think it was the Chargers-Chiefs.
Yeah. You're going to have to go.
I'll go. I'd be happy to go.
Okay. You'll have to leave your child.
Uh-oh.
Your willingness to go kind of speaks of what kind of father you'll be.
I'm not a father yet, so I can say whatever I want right now.
You're setting, you know what? You're setting the foundation for failure. I can't abide by
Listen,
that.
you give me some advice instead of Hardy in the break. How about that?
Oh,
I don't remember anything because you won't either. This is all going to be very interesting and a great journey, but I'm just telling you, you're not going to remember the first 6 months.
So that's why I should go.
Listen, I'm killing time. All right, look, when we come back, we'll do 2 stats and a lie and figure out how that all comes out.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics lost to Utah at TD Garden last night, 105-103. Jaylen Brown, 36 points in the loss. And a last-second basket won it for Utah. Celtics host the Washington Wizards tomorrow night. Bruins visit the New York Islanders tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7. You're on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Elias Lindholm now week to week with a lower body injury. The NFL trade deadline arrives at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Cincinnati has traded linebacker Logan Wilson to Dallas for a 7th-round pick this morning. And in Red Sox news, Alex Bregman and Lucas Giolito have opted out of their contracts. Garrett Crochet is a finalist for the American League Cy Young Award, and Roman Anthony is a finalist for the American League Rookie of the Year Award. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Delta Dental of Massachusetts, proud sponsor of the Celtics Radio Network, most valuable veteran of the game. Nominate a veteran who served our country for the chance to win 2 game tickets to an upcoming game and be recognized on air. Visit the contest.
Two stats, one lie.
All right, it's two stats, one lie, where Andrew Callahan often makes mistakes, and often
more mistakes than not.
Yeah,
he's on a 2-week winning streak though with no mistakes. I think.
So what is this? Week 9? Yeah, we're going into week 10. So I've had 9 weeks.
You have had 9 weeks.
I think we're at 5 clean. No controversies here. So I'm going to resent that. And we're going to 6 today.
We were just as a throwaway, because we don't have time to get in depth in it. We were going through the Patriots' opponents next season, and it's going to be a much different vibe. Now, will they win? Absolutely, there's a possibility of that. But it's just in terms of competition, it's in travel, especially
much worse.
Like the travel is going to be insane.
More than half those teams are probably going to make the playoffs,
right? Because they have
schedule.
Yeah, one of the unknown teams is an NFC West team, and the NFC West is good. And so I was like, it's going to be the Rams, and then Andrew's right. It could be Seattle. Like
either way,
it could be the 49ers. I don't think it's going to be the 49ers. I think it's going to be the Rams or Seattle. But anyway you slice it, it's not good news. So the schedule does get more real, and that's the price you pay when you're a good team. You got to play the good schedule. You got to earn it, baby. Steel sharpens steel, as we say in the jiu-jitsu community. All right, let's go.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's do this. It takes 2 stats from the other night. And one lie, see if you can get it right.
All right, Andrew Callahan. One of these statistics will be a lie, or all of them will be lies. And there's one of those left, right? There's one more
left.
lies.
Yes,
just for you and Hardy.
Right.
Got to get that week.
Well, yeah, and we did do the game theory that you could just say they're all lies every week and win.
At some point, maybe we're already at that point. I have to do the math, but yeah, you could.
Well, it's game theory. There's a flaw in the game but we have agreed as gentlemen not to do that. No.
And I did not bring that up week 1 and 2 when I had to just convince you to go along with it in the first place, knowing that there was.
And you did not
a hole in
convince
the
us.
rules.
I still think it's stupid.
I think
Go ahead.
Brought us around. That's because Wallet's winning. Do we standings update real quick?
Yes. John Wallach is in the lead with 6. I have 3. Fred has 2.
So you could tie this week.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Since Elliott Wolf was promoted to the top job in the Patriots front office, they have not acquired a player via trade. Since Elliott Wolf was promoted to the top job in the Patriots front office, they have not acquired a player via trade.
Since he what?
Since he was promoted to lead the front office, the top job, the top post. So this was after Belichick left, start of the 2024 offseason.
Okay.
All right.
Number 2. Patriots kicker Andy Borregales is averaging more points per game than most Celtics players.
Well, what's most?
The majority of them. It's a 15-man roster, so most would mean 8 or more players.
Okay.
Patriots kicker Andy Borregales is averaging more points per game than most Celtics players. Number 3. Drake May now leads the Patriots in rushing. Number 3. Drake May now leads the Patriots in rushing.
Okay. I got it. I'm good.
Very good. All right. So Wolf could have trade a player for picks, but not acquired a player. Okay.
Not gotten a player via trade. Is that phrase
not
that
received
correctly?
a player via
Okay.
trade.
Okay.
He's only received picks in exchange for players. All right, Jonathan, go ahead.
All right.
You're in the lead, so you go
Okay. Since Wolf was promoted, not gotten a player via trade, it's a very small window, and I'm trying to think back as to whether or not he's acquired a player. And I don't think he has. I think that's true. The second one is just so bizarre. It's such an outstanding stat that
Can I step in? The Celtics are playing a lot of players.
Right.
So even an average game, the Patriots have put up points.
Exactly.
So
but
if it's like 8 points a game, is that more than half the Celtics?
But
you're the Celtics guy. You watch the Celtics every day.
It's such an outstanding stat that you look at and go, no way. That can't possibly be true.
But do the exercise in your head. How many Celtics are averaging? Let's say that Borg, whatever the hell his name is averaging 9 points a game.
That's the number I was thinking of.
I think Kata is, Jaylen Brown is, Peyton Pritchard is, Derek White is, despite his bad shooting. Let's see. Who else?
So the answer is no if you have to think that much. But what about a guy that only played in one game and got like 10 points?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that would stop.
Has that happened?
They should play him more.
Is there a guy that's barely like Luka Garza? Like, has there been like a game where he's had a lot of points? No. Okay, so that's a lie. Or that's a true. That's true.
That's a true.
So 2 is true.
Yeah, I think 2 is true. I think that 3 is the lie. I think it's close, but I think 3 is the lie. Drake May leads the team in rushing.
Did he have a lot of rushing yards? I don't remember off the top of my head.
He hasn't gotten it
on Sunday.
He gets some, but I don't think that
do
much.
sacks count as negative rushing yards?
No, just a college thing.
Okay.
No, I'm going to go with 3 is the lie this week.
You want me to go?
Well, yeah, you're next in points. The anchors that are dragging everyone down get to go last.
All lies. I think there's one player that Elliott Wolf has acquired via a trade. I believe the Borregales thing is going to be close, but maybe he's a shade under that 9-point number that you and I were thinking about, Fred. For some reason, he's averaging fewer points than you and I are just initially thinking. And he would like us to believe that maybe 3 is the lie, but I think they're all lies. The Drake May rushing yards, also a lie. All 3 lies.
Fred?
Because even if Borregales is 6 points a game, how many Celtics could be averaging over 6 points a game? So I could go all lies, but I won't do that out of sportsmanship. I think Hardy's right. I think they're all lies.
Well, do you think is right? Come on.
No, now he wants you to do it, which makes me think
it could be mental gymnastics.
He wants us both
we
to
just
lose.
listened to Fred go in circles so many times last year and talk himself out of the correct answer. So look, sure, you could absolutely pretend I'm being a jerk, and maybe I'm not even being a jerk, and I'm steering you in the wrong direction.
Oh, man.
I'm agreeing. I'm actually interested in the answer because I never thought of how many points a kicker's averaging a game. I'm going to say
for
that
somebody who needs a kicker for fantasy this week.
I'm really.
You should be thinking about it.
All right, so I'm going to say 2 is the. Wait, no, I'm saying 2 is true. I'm saying. I'll just say 1's the lie to be different. Okay. I think they're all lies, but I'm saying 1 is the lie.
Okay.
Number 3 was the lie.
Yeah.
And number 2 was the lie. No. And number 1 was the lie.
Wallach's lead grows. Now you're really grateful for the 3 lie rule.
Yeah.
So a couple of things, because I have only been anxiously refreshing and scouring the Patriots transaction page for the last 2 years since we started this segment. And every trade has been a player out and a pick back. So if there's another trade that I can't think of and it's not on the Patriots website, I'm sure people will let us know. But for now, Matt Judon, Mac Jones, Keon White, Kyle Duggar, all those guys out, picks back. Number 2, Andy Borregales is averaging 7 points per game. The top 7 guys are Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Anthony Simons, Sam Hauser, Kata, Josh Minot at 7.4. Garza is just behind him, 8th in points per game at 5.6. You go all the way down to 15.
Garza.
That's how you get to more than half the Celtics roster. By the way, Andy Borregales has hit as many 3-point field goals now as Peyton Pritchard, who had 4 last night. Otherwise, that was going to be the lie.
Oh.
Slow start for Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, that's a cute one.
I would never have gotten that right.
Drake May is 3rd in rushing. Travion Henderson now leads at 283 yards. Ramondre Stevenson, who did not play last weekend, is at 279. Drake May at 270. So it's close.
Very close. Johnny Wall game.
John Wallach.
It's really an indictment on the game.
2 stats. Andrew's got 2 stats. But he's got 1 lie. But he's got 1 lie.
right, caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. We'll score a pair of tickets to Comics Come Home on Saturday at the Garden featuring Dennis Leary, Lenny Clark, Sarah Silverman, and more, all to benefit the Cam Neely Foundation. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Thank you, Andrew Callahan from the Boston Herald.
Thank you, guys.
We will be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. If you have cable, you watched the ESPN game last night, or you could have. The Cardinals beat the Cowboys by 10 points. The Cowboys, for some reason, supposed to be active at the trade deadline today. They've already made one trade. They've got a linebacker from Cincinnati that does not have a good defense. I've seen it in person.
By the way, that linebacker, I just took a look. He's a team captain, but he's hurt. He's got a calf injury and got taken out of the starting lineup a week or two ago.
Okay.
So not exactly an impact trade.
All right. So Jerry Jones is, of course, very vocal. And is this radio or is this?
This is Sirius XM's NFL show featuring with he's sitting in there with
not the Jerry Jones show that he's good enough to call into.
No. This is him sitting down with Stephen A. Smith and on the satellite.
Okay. So he's sitting, which they replay in the evening, and. I was all for Stephen A. Smith doing radio, but you can't replay sports talk radio. That's my advice to Sirius XM is that, afternoon drive, you got to have a live show. You can't replay Stephen A. Smith. I understand you're probably giving him a lot of money, but that's not the way to recoup it. All right, here we go. This is Jerry Jones with Stephen A. Smith.
What you do?
Stephen A. Smith, by the way, a Cowboy fan. I know that. From the fact that he's in a green screen prison where he lives 24 hours a day talking about something publicly, whether it be sports or politics. And just mark my words right now, this shift into politics is going to dramatically hurt his career. Here we go.
What you do, Stephen A., is a little bit of my philosophy. Okay? Controversy. Controversy. I'm serious. Dead serious.
Is that like controversy? Is controversy the same thing as controversy?
Well, it's when your friend cheats at Contra. I will tell you this, is that all of this is complete BS. This is a guy whose team is way worse than he thought it was going to be, and he's kind of walked into a narrative. Because when he was doing all this stuff with Micah Parsons, could be Defensive Player of the Year in Green Bay, when they were doing all this stuff with Micah Parsons, people said, Jerry's just doing this to keep eyes on him. Stephen A. Smith might have even said it. But a big narrative was Jerry's just doing this to, keep people enthralled. The Cowboys are a soap opera. And he's kind of now like going, yeah, that's what I was doing, is I was trying to cause controversy. That's it. No. He wants to win Super Bowls. He enjoyed that. That's what he would like to do. His controversies don't affect people's fandom of the Dallas Cowboys. You know why people are fans of the Dallas Cowboys? They're always good. In the 70s, that's why. In the 70s, they were always good. That's why there's a lot of Steeler fans for no reason. It's the same difference. That's why. When Michael Vick was drafted by the Falcons, there was 1 million Falcon fans. It's not because of controversy. It's because of legacy. And long before you got there, stop yawning. Well, I'm sorry I'm bothering you so much.
I'm sorry.
I'm carrying you on my back right now.
Yes,
with
you
your
are.
yawning.
Yes, you are.
An audible yawn right into the microphone.
I'm glad
I'm looking at him, by the way.
I'm glad you brought it up because he does it like once a show, and I've never said anything. Now, I've shot him some looks before, but...
My apologies. I'm very sorry. It was not intended.
I wonder if he yawns when we're not here.
You're not being boring at all. I just didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I apologize.
Oh, we all got a lot of sleep, John.
I'm not saying... I reacted
so
differently
well rested.
to it, apparently. It is
We're all going to live forever. I love every report that says you need 9 hours of sleep.
Just go the full Zola. Go, oh, God, I'm so bored. Oh, this is stupid.
How could you be bored talking? How could you be bored talking? It's just odd.
It's a great incentive to listen to the show.
It's just, I'm not mad at John. It's just, it was funny.
I get mad when he does it.
I've never noticed him do it before, but he's right in my eye line. So I saw it, and I saw him doing it.
I'm sorry, Fred.
But no reason to apologize. It was just a natural reaction to my boredom. Now, would you like to handle the rest of this? All right. So anyway, to get back to my point, Do any of you? I'll ask you to get you engaged in this. Do any of you?
Yes.
Do any? Which I should really do more of. I apologize. You don't have free reign. I turn your mics off. Do you think that that he is doing this controversial stuff on purpose, or do you think he's just old and rich? I'm kind of leading you down a path.
No, I think it's his way of coping
Yes.
with the mess that he creates.
Yes.
I don't think he's doing it on purpose. I think he makes a mess. They have a crap season. Things are in shambles. They trade players they shouldn't, stuff like that. And then he says, "Oh, that's kind of what I do." You know, in the aftermath, as he's sifting through the rubble of his team, he kind of looks at it and he's like, "Yeah, this is all by design."
Yeah, he handled the whole
agree.
Micah Parsons thing terribly, and now it's like, no, don't look here. Look at this thing
But
over there.
So say Woody Johnson, who's a terrible owner, owned the Cowboys. Like that's gonna what are they gonna become? Nothing. Like what is Jerry Jones actively doing other than losing? Like if Woody Johnson goes there and just says one dumb thing to the press a year, like are the Cowboys gonna lose their value? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like Jerry Jones kind of being good in the 90s certainly helped build that new stadium, but they love football in Texas. The Dallas Cowboys are this marquee brand. I don't know how you could ruin it other than just continually losing. You understand? They don't need that soap opera narrative. That doesn't do anything for them. I mean, I was alive before he owned the Cowboys, and everyone was a Cowboy fan because in the 70s they were great.
Not serial killing. Not that, but controversy.
Might have to back that up a little bit so we can get that in context.
Well, no, he's saying he likes controversy, not serial killing.
No, I think he says he's dead serious. He felt the need to not that kind of.
Well, it's
dead.
Halloween.
Not that kind of dead.
I have Halloween in the men's bathroom of the steakhouse every day. Surprise! There's two ladies in here with me, and I'm paying them. The best. Have you seen those photos of him in the bathroom of the steakhouse with the chicks?
Yeah.
He's like, show them boobies. Come on.
Put them on the glass, honey.
Yeah, good old. All right, inject me. I'm ready to go.
Not serial killing. Not that, but controversy. The Dallas Cowboys probably have the kind of interest that we have in no small part because we stay out front and we stay controversial.
What do you mean? What does stay out front mean?
That he's in the press all the time.
Okay.
The Patriots, I would gather, have gained more value as a franchise over the course of the last 25 years than any other franchise. I can't imagine 25 years ago the Patriots were one of the three most lucrative teams or worth the most. Three of the most valuable teams in the NFL. I find that very difficult to believe that 25 years ago that was the case.
You know what it reminds me of, too?
But just real quick, you know why that value went up so much? It's not beautiful Foxborough. It's that they won.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Kraft bought the team. I'm looking at it here, and he bought it in 1994 for $172 million. It is now worth, what, $8 billion?
So, yeah, and winning did that. And by the way, every other NFL team is worth, at least $1 billion. I mean, even garbage Jacksonville that doesn't even play there. Go ahead.
But for the Dallas Cowboys specifically, it was a really brilliant marketing move. So simple.
America's team.
Yeah. It's like, you know what it reminds me of? The world famous K-Rock. Years ago, radio station in Los Angeles, KROQ, started branding themselves in all their imaging as the world famous K-Rock. And somebody went to, a conference or something in Australia and asked them about K-Rock. And they're like, you ever heard of K-Rock? No. So they started asking people in the UK. And so, have you ever heard of this radio station in America called K-Rock? No. So someone asked somebody at K-Rock, how'd you get, why are you the world famous K-Rock? And they said, because we say so. And there was the imaging guy there for years, John Frost, who I learned a lot of stuff from. He said, the audience only knows what you tell them. And back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, that was especially true. There's no way of going online and arguing about it. And, oh, no, it's the world famous K-Rock. Why? Well, they keep saying it.
Well, king of all media.
King of all media, that's another one.
Well, I mean, in politics, it's a strategy is you just keep saying the same thing over and over again. And even if it's debunked, you just keep saying it, and then that becomes the truth.
Who's America's team? Cowboys. Why? I don't know. They just are.
But it's like the Roy Cohn, the lawyer.
Even if they're not.
That was Roy Cohn's whole thing. That was his whole modus operandi, is that he would just say, you say a lie long enough, it becomes the truth in people's minds. So, yes. That's why I'm always putting myself out there as a sexual god. And, the town has accepted that.
Swordsman.
Yeah. A real, you know what, man. You know what I'm saying?
When it gets slow, I stir that shit up. Fact.
Literally, did he say that?
Fact. Fact. Does that sound like anybody I know?
Sound a little familiar.
Okay.
Sound a little familiar.
My point.
So in other words, you'll love you or you'll hate you, but you'll never be bored with you.
Well, my point is, I just want to be relevant. I just want you to be over here looking at us. Now then, in between that, I want to say to everybody in this room, I don't think that has ever kept us from scoring a touchdown one.
Right.
How old is he?
Oh, God, he's got to be in his 80s by now.
Because
right?
they say at 85, the wheels really come off. Okay. That's what the conventional medicine says. 85 is the year where is it 75 or it's 75?
75.
75 is the year that unless you really keep at it.
It's that imaginary line that you cross where you no longer care about what you say or what bodily fluids.
There's that famous doctor that was on 60 Minutes. He was just on 60 Minutes, and he was saying that I'm preparing my clients to have life after 75. Like 75 is the drop-off point. Now, my parents don't seem like much different at 83 than they did at 75. They're doing well, fortunately. But that's apparently the age where it starts going.
We talked about this at the beginning of the season, where Jerry used to have this presence when he'd show up at events. Now he just looked, the eyes are sunk back in his skull. He looks like a crazy old man. It's just saying stuff now, and he just happens to be a multi-billionaire.
But this one's just kind of like lazy. Like you just are, the narrative is out there, so now you're embracing it because you suck. And who's going to believe that? Does anyone, you guys didn't, I didn't, does anyone believe that he's really trying to screw up the Micah Parsons thing? You think he wanted to trade Micah Parsons? Or do you think that he talked about it so much he had to trade Micah Parsons? Do you think that the Cowboys have more than 3 wins with Micah Parsons?
Yes.
You think he's good for a win?
At least.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it has kept us from having a football player one. I don't think it's ever kept us from having the financial wherewithal to get a football player. As a matter of fact, I will tell you.
How much do you hear Philadelphia's owner talking? Like, how much do you, I mean, there's teams that win championships, and what, is Philadelphia worthless?
You know what? I'll give him, I'll grant him it's not preventing you from getting wins. But how many more wins would you have if instead of focusing or spending any amount of time thinking about stirring up controversy, you just thought about ways to make your team better?
Well, here's the challenge that I would, and it's hard to quantify. I would say how much value added to that franchise is because of your controversy, which is 0. And then I didn't take any money away. I just don't think it does anything. And number 2 is you want to win. Has it cost you negotiations with players? And the answer to that is yes. So it has cost you. And also, you're not doing it on purpose. He's definitely not doing it on purpose. He just is the way he is.
It's interesting.
And they're not winning. And the narrative during the Micah Parsons thing. And by the way, the narrative during the Micah Parsons thing was, oh, don't worry, this will get done. Jerry Jones just likes the press. And then it didn't get done. So that takes that away. So the whole narrative, which doesn't count anymore during the Micah Parsons thing, is Jerry Jones is a salesman. Jerry Jones is like a PR guy. And Jerry Jones is hearing that going like, yeah, that's what I am, sure. Meanwhile, he's just some guy that talks a lot of S in the media. Once you lose Micah Parsons.
To camouflage. That's the point.
Yes, that's
when
the thing.
The whole Parsons thing went south, he was running to microphones and doing every interview he could possibly do.
Well,
and
that's
after a while, when he knew it was lost, he would say, I'm the guy who writes the checks. I'm the guy who makes the decision. This is my team, not his. So he can point at that and go, see, I'm just stirring up stuff, when in reality it was damage control for your own problems.
Yeah, you lost Micah Parsons because of talking. So, I mean, that's really what it is. I think if that was all handled behind the scenes, that would have gotten done. Especially if what he said is true and they put a contract in front of Micah Parsons and he was fine enough with it. The agent went ape crap, as he should have, when he found out that Jones had given Michael Parsons a contract without consulting the agent first, which he should. And then the agent's pissed. And then you put that fire out, and then you get the deal done.
Jones is incredulous. Well, I've done deals like this all the time. No, you haven't.
Well, that's the thing.
No, you haven't.
Is that Jones then went out when the agent justifiably got pissed. If I'm paying an agent, which I do, 5% of my pre-tax salary, the entire reason is to put out fires and to negotiate contracts. That's it. When I'm fine, when I'm doing well, there is very little for my agent to do. So, but if like Mary or, the Beasleys came to me with a contract and they didn't go through my agent, Heather, I'd be like, what are you doing? So anyway, so the agent got pissed. So what Jerry could have done is gone, all right, I have to, put the fire out. It's a small fire. The agent wants to make money and get the contract done. But what did he do? He went out and said, I had a deal done. And now the agent's furious because now you're stomping on his brand.
And you double and triple down on a bad position.
You're tripling down on a bad position, and then you lose. And now all of a sudden, Green Bay's got this momentous defense, and you suck.
Yeah, your defense is as we were just talking about with Andrew Callahan, one of the worst two defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, and you just lost to the Cardinals at home with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. America's team. So, no, the value has nothing to do with him. The value, that America's team, Hardy, that was the best point. America's team was the 70s, which was my initial point. This franchise became the franchise in the 70s before him. I don't think any owner ruins that. Now, the 90s got the new stadium built.
Yeah,
that's fair.
He's responsible.
He got that stadium
built. 3
built.
Super Bowls in 4 years,
and he got that stadium built. So he was a really good owner, and he might still be a good owner. I don't know.
No,
but the thing is, the bottom line is, he's not trying to be controversial to get people to get the value of the Cowboys up. That's ludicrous.
I just want to be relevant.
Yeah,
he wants to be relevant.
Yeah, he should invest in a marble remover to get the marbles out of his mouth.
Controversy is always relevant.
I just want to be relevant.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, he's like legit old, very old. So he's very old. 85, you say?
83, I think.
Oh, he's my parents' age.
Yeah. I think
it's like if my dad owned the Cowboys.
83.
Yeah. Imagine seeing your 83-year-old dad on TV.
No thanks.
Call my dad. Let's get him on.
Does that sound like anybody I know?
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, those scamps. They'll be right back on the Sports Hub.
Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. And if you'd like to email us, you can go to 985thesportshub.com and get that information. You can follow us on the social media at Toucher and Hardy, at Hardy985, and me on Instagram at Fred Toucher, where we're so tantalizingly close to 26,000 followers.
Feels like just yesterday we were tantalizingly close to 25,000. So look at the gains you're making. It's quite impressive.
Well, it's funny because my agent made something about me like 3 years ago, and it said I had 23,000 followers on Instagram. So I've not been catching fire. Let's put it that way. Timo, who emails all the time, but he's got good emails, hey, Fred, no BS. But just last night I was waiting to drive my son home from an after-school program in the pitch black and listening to Apple Music when a Hole song came on. I then went down a wormhole and listening to more tracks and thought to myself, I think this is far better than Nirvana. I thought I had an edgy take there, and 12 hours later you said the same thing. Well, it is parallel thinking. I think Hole are better than Nirvana.
Well, to counter that from Dave, it's so beautiful that yesterday Fred said, having certain opinions can reveal your level of stupidity, end quote. Then today came out with, I like Hole better than Nirvana. It's perfect. Fred, I'm usually on board with your outlandish takes, but this time you've gone too far. I will allow you to tell me that I like feet because I used to hug my mother's leg, but I won't let you say that Hole is in any way better than Nirvana. It's, in all caps, irrational.
I don't like Nirvana.
What do you mean you don't like Nirvana?
I didn't like them in the 90s when I was in high school.
There's no Nirvana song that you like.
Oh, I didn't. Probably. Oh, Territorial Pissings, I think, is a good song. But I don't like any of their hits, and I didn't at the time. And it might have been because I was like, why this band? Which is a very big part of it. Is because they got big when I was like 17. When you're 17, you're pretty dug in if you like, a certain style of music. So obviously these things, my own pigheadish, is that a term? My own whatever.
Pigheadishness?
Pigheadedness.
Headedness. Thank you, John.
All right, Jonathan. Thank you. My own pigheadedness, I guess, if that's a term, I said it, is that was why I didn't like them. But I was like, there's so many bands of this ilk. Now, if you talk to other musicians, they talk about how incredible Nirvana were, and they would know more than me. But in terms of me, I was like, there's like 80 different bands that I think are better than this why is it this band? And when Novoselic at the MTV Music Awards threw his bass up and hit himself in the head, I wrote about it in the school newspaper.
Do you have a copy of that?
No, I would love to have copies of the North Farmington newspaper, though, from 92 to 93. I'd very much like that. Because I wrote some good articles. I wrote about the guys who own Blimpies. The two guys that owned the local Blimpies. I wrote about them like they were pimps.
Isn't it kind of fun now when you find out like you can find anything online? There's certain things you can't. And I almost kind of like it that there are a few things that are like lost to history.
So you know how like Howard Stern, which I never would have because no one cares, but Howard Stern has like a channel that's pretty much devoted to just stuff he's already done.
Yeah.
Like I can't even find the bit where we had Craig Cass call Sean Hannity as the runaway as Al Pacino, and he believed it, and we were put through to him. And Craig Cass, he thought Sean Hannity thought he was talking
to Al Pacino.
That's
great.
And so, like, that's the only bit I want, and I can't find it. Like, I don't know. And even the kid that keeps the website that used to be to try to get me in trouble, I think, but now he has this huge archive of stuff I've done in Atlanta and stuff. And I don't think he has it because he's never sent it to me. That's the only bit I wish I had. Anyway, yeah, I have already like literal years of radio. I think if you added up the hours that are gone. And I've thought about that before, and I think, good. That's good, I don't need a catalog, a collective of what I sounded like. Like one tape is enough. Like, my kids are never going to listen to that. And if they did, they listened to it once. And no one else is going to care about it.
You might not need it, but we need these North Farmington High School newspaper articles. So I'm currently emailing the media aide at North Farmington High School to see if that's something we can.
Well, it's a really tight operation over there, so you should probably have no problem.
Pretty impressed, actually. You got a pretty deep database over here. Library and all this. That's my wheelhouse, so excuse me.
Yeah, well, look, you can look at the school and see how obviously it was constructed in the late 60s. Much like a lot of these Newton schools.
They still got the big Led Zeppelin mural in the lunchroom?
I don't know. But that really was there. That was one of those things when I was little I thought I imagined. And then when I went there and started going to school there, I'm like, that's really there.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right. Do you want to do some community service here?
Yeah.
We all got this email. This is from Kathy, longtime Sports Hub listener.
I did it already. I did it before Callahan.
Yes.
Already
done.
I'm sorry. I admit what
Between the yawning and the not listening, I'm feeling
at least I was listening while yawning. I was paying attention.
How'd you give out the website? Because that's what I was puzzling over.
I just gave out like the .org thing.
Okay.
Yeah. She's already gone back to me with a big thank you.
I was too busy locking in on the fact that I was going to go all 3 lies this week, no matter what the stats and the lies were.
Yeah. Now that's out of the arsenal. Now you've pulled that trigger. You can't do it next week.
I can do it whenever I want.
You cannot. Anthony says, fun facts. The Patriots are undefeated when Kyle Williams doesn't catch a pass. Will Campbell has many tackles as Bengals first-round pick Shamir Stewart.
Saw that.
Oh, that Stewart kid. That was a big problem.
He held out. His agent was nuts.
He was a kid that had no college production, but they were like, look at how huge and strong he is. They also have Jalen Walker. Like that, Jalen Walker. Yeah. Right?
Shamar Stewart is a guy
No. Jalen Walker was on Atlanta.
You got attacked in an email yesterday, Fred. And normally I'm all for it, but I got to defend you on this one. Yeah. It's Sarah in Everett who for a while was in your corner. But she said last week Fred compared the Mike Lombardi Super Bowl ring to the ring Bob Sosey was awarded. I felt like that was a dig at Sosey and not deserved. Number one, it was not a dig at Sosey. And number two, Bob Sosey, to my knowledge, has never gone before a group of people and referred to his Super Bowl ring as his bling, nor would he ever.
Well, the problem with what she's saying is what I said is a factual statement. That the ring the announcers get is the same ring that Lombardi got. There's the ring.
I
got news for you. The team doesn't make $10,000 rings for everyone that's somewhat associated with the team.
I think Sosey's ring might be nicer than Lombardi's ring. And he's still not bragging about it.
That's a guarantee that it's nicer than the one Lombardi got.
So if anything, I'm overselling Lombardi. But I'll tell you, when you see the rings with the gaudy rings that you're not supposed to wear with all the diamonds, I got news for you. They don't go to people that aren't intimately involved in the organization. The broadcasters don't get one. You're given a ring that's like a clone of it with very, very less expensive material in it. So, Sarah from Everett, a swing and a miss from you, my dear. Not surprising. John, you have an email or you just
I do. No, I have an email. This is from Judy in Rockland who said we were
look at all these broads.
I was listening earlier and talking about daylight savings time. It says savings here. It's my mistake. I was reading what was in front of me.
Correct the listeners so you don't both sound stupid.
That's just what the listeners want, me correcting them. So
you didn't have to say anything. You could just make the correction for them and not draw attention to it.
Well, it's too late. It's out in the open now, isn't it?
In a corner.
By the way, it just came in like a second ago, so John's really sifting through these beforehand. Go ahead, John.
I was listening earlier this morning about your discussion about daylight savings time, and I couldn't agree more.
He did it again.
I have no daylight saving time. I couldn't agree more. I think that send the kids out in the darkness, toughens them up. Way to go, Freddie.
Yeah,
love Judy.
It wasn't a. No one likes it, so that's not the. I'm not trying to sway opinion. It's just opinion everyone holds. I was more curious. Your opinion or what you knew about it. Why? I can't figure out why they do it. Again, when I got here at 5:30 in the morning, there was a hint of a sunrise, in the eastern sky. And I thought, why is this necessary? Like, why does the sun have to come up at 5:30? Why can't the sun come up at 6:30? And then we can have the kids at school. And if you email and you say, I looked at AccuWeather and it said the sunrise was at 6:45 in the morning, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it was a huge hallucination. But even Hardy skeptically looked out the window and saw the beginnings of a sunrise.
I didn't not believe you. I just wanted to look at the sun.
Freddie
It's
Touch.
healthy.
Haven't heard much about from Mike Gorman since last season. I need to know what he's been up to, where he's been sailing his latest musings. Shoot him a text. Can we get him back on the show? Tell him you promised John won't be allowed to ask Celtics questions. It's funny. I'll text with Mike, and he sends long texts with what he's doing.
Yeah.
And they'll go let's get lunch. But he doesn't live around here. So I don't, and he's got no reason to come into town for jobs. I'm sure he's got a lot of reasons to come into town, but it's kind of this unknown. I don't know when he's going to be in town. And unless he reaches out and goes, can you go out to lunch on this specific date? My hands are kind of tied.
He is the world's most interesting man.
Well, I'll tell you why I like Mike Gorman. I've told you before, is that he's a guy who retired from broadcasting and seems to be enjoying his life very much. Unlike everyone else that's in sports broadcasting.
Seriously, he
seems to just walk around in a constant state of befuddlement as to why they're not in it anymore.
He just stopped and disappeared. And is now doing what he wants.
He has the wild decision not to make a podcast. Drew Lane from Drew and Mike made a podcast because he was out of radio before he wanted to be. He was still in his 50s, so he went and made a podcast, and it did well. So there's that. But then there's sitting around at 75 talking on Zoom and taping it. That's sad, and it really is. And to me, it's sad. And it's not an insult to any of these guys. It's just sad. I would like to think that when you choose to retire at an advanced age, that for the remaining years you have on the planet, the not working is a positive. You've hopefully, gathered up enough money by the time you're in your 70s, and that you kind of do what Mike's doing. You travel around, you pop into town once in a while to say hello to friends, and then you're off on your own. But he's legitimate. I don't know many people that have retired from radio, but he might be the only guy I know that's retired from sports broadcasting or been forced out of sports broadcasting that doesn't run around complaining about it. Ad nauseum forever, for years and years and years and years and years. Needs to have a presence online where a lot of that presence is just babbling about radio or sports talk or whatever the hell is going on. It's nothing. If they enjoy it, that's great. It just seems incredibly sad to me, and it makes me nervous that when I don't have this outlet anymore, I'm going to be running around wanting to make 100 podcasts and be on social media.
Well, I'm nervous for you too because I don't know what you're going to do with your time.
I know it's what am I going to do from 5 to 10 in the morning? I don't know how I'll be able to fill those hours.
You'll be presumably staying up later than you normally do, and you won't be napping for hours in the middle of the day. You're going to need to fill a lot of time.
Yeah, but those hours I'm awake are boogieing hours.
Oh, you need to get some interests and some hobbies going.
Oh, I'm aware of that. I'm preparing. I'm getting a stable of friends. I'm trying to do that for when the kids leave.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I'll have a nice, stable group of friends. And then the next thing would be to get some interest. That's a good point.
You got 4. What? You got 3 years till Zoe's out, right?
Yeah, 3.5 years until Zoe's out. Miles essentially out next year. So yeah, 3.5 years with Zoe. But Zoe gets older. She doesn't want to. She's going to need less and less of her dad. Right now, she likes hanging out with her dad. We'll see how that is in a year. We'll see. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Hear the headline.
list from the show. It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy, and it is time for our award-winning Stack segment that everyone loves. See, I say award-winning, and then that becomes we've won awards.
Yeah.
They've moved the big award case into our sight line.
It's supposed to inspire us to greatness.
Well, no, I think what happened is they envisioned when they got this floor of the building that there was going to be a grand entrance where you would go in and you'd be greeted by someone and things of that nature.
A receptionist at the reception desk?
Yes, but then that became a pipe dream when they realized that the weight of a receptionist's salary was going to bog things down. So they decided, after many years, to move the awards to an area where people go in the building.
Yeah.
So now they are here, are the many Marconi Awards.
6 of them.
They don't give to us anymore.
Right there.
How about that?
I've not even been nominated since I won the Marconi, and that was 10 years ago or something.
Step it up, pal.
Well, I've been at it like a 10. It's the Marconis that have been like a 2.
3 stories today. Number one, more trouble in Hawkins, Indiana, as Millie Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown reportedly filed harassment and bullying claim
That's her
against
prerogative.
David Harbour. Very good, Fred. According to the Daily Mail, there was a lengthy complaint about her co-star who plays her father on the show Stranger Things. None of them were sexual in nature. It was more about just general harassment and bullying claims. Apparently, there was other trouble on the set, some directed at the series creators, Matt and Ross Duffer,
Duffer. Matt's an angel. Ross is a bit of a playboy.
Responsible for creating a toxic work environment. But Stranger Things' final season, of course, is still on the way. It's going to be released in 3 parts.
Is she suing, or what's going on?
There was a claim filed before they started filming season 5, in that she had a legal representative with her at all times on the set.
That seems
going
healthy.
after that. And of course, we also know that Millie Bobby Brown recently got married to John Bon Jovi's son, Jake Bon Jovi. And as a 21-year-old, very wise decision, also wise to adopt that baby girl. So,
they adopted a kid?
Oh, yeah.
And they let him adopt a kid?
Sure.
Aren't there like a lot of people older than that want kids?
Not with as much money as they've got.
So that's the thing is money.
There you have it.
Well, it's required. I
Yeah.
mean, you see all these kids from celebrity families, and they usually could turn off pretty good, Chet Hanks. So, and he's got normal parents, conceivably. And so, well, good. I'm glad that's the way the adoption business goes. If you're 21 and want a kid because you're rich and bored.
Yeah.
Millie brought. I stopped watching Stranger Things when I realized it wasn't good. That was when I bagged out.
I think the first season is really good.
Did they go behind the wall in the first season where it gets to be magical?
The Upside Down.
The Upside Down.
Yeah. Once that happened, I said, okay, I don't care for this anymore.
Well, twice now I thought it was over, and they told us it was going to be over.
These kids are all 30.
And then something else pops up. It's like, oh, there's an old guy in a house that's been doing this the whole time. I'm done. I don't care.
Like the story of the kid missing, and then the worried mother, and then the alien. That it was at first gripping, and then they went into the
Upside Down
Bed Bath and Beyond situation, and I said, I'm out. I don't like this anymore. This has gone way too fantasy for me.
Anybody take melatonin on the show?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Adam, step in.
How long you been taking it, John?
Not long. Not long.
Taking melatonin for long periods of time could be a sign of underlying heart problems.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Linked to a higher risk of heart failure. And
next thing you know, you'll be taking magnesium like LBF and just knocking yourself out at night.
John, you have trouble sleeping?
Yes.
Well, early death in adults with insomnia, according to research released yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's funny because we were just talking. I was making the joke is that I love to hear everything about sleeping because for the last 25 years I've gotten no sleep. And they're like the most important thing, more than what you eat, what you drink, how you exercise, is sleep.
Sure.
And you say, well, I don't get that. So
you're gonna exercise and eat right all you want, but you're still gonna
Right. The easiest thing is the thing that you can't do.
Right. I got to take this call.
All right, go take the call. We got to get John under. He's got, you know what that is? That's a rehab facility for you.
Okay.
With that melatonin.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you can even stagger in here in the morning. I hope you take it early enough where it's not affected. You were yawning during the show. Maybe that's why you're yawning, is you're all hopped up on melatonin. You mix that with magnesium.
Oh, man.
That's like fentanyl and...
That's a cocktail and a half right there, yeah.
I'm done. I'm off my call.
All right. Yeah. Did you? So you got him a bed?
I'm just worried about John and that melatonin.
That's what I'm saying. You got him a bed.
He doesn't sleep good.
He's sitting there yawning.
No, but he has trouble falling asleep. He has trouble sleeping, and now he's on the melatonin, and it's
not working.
If you can fall asleep easily, I challenge your intelligence.
I sleep. I'm out in 2 minutes.
Your brain doesn't. You should have more to think about. Your brain should be racing more, in my opinion.
You're right. I should be more like you.
Yes, intelligent, deep thinker. These are the things. All right.